Good critic, bad critic. We are here with another episode, and guess what? This is Craig's pick for the week. You want to tell us what you picked?
We picked, we as a collective, and everyone agreed, Goldeneye.
Oh no, you
007,
picked it. You picked it.
1995. Well, we were given. I gave you two options. It's Goldeneye. It's the best James Bond film ever.
Yeah, it might be.
No,
It might be.
no argument.
Quentin's rocking back and forth like a muppet.
Oh.
He might
I
disagree with
love
that.
I love my Daniel Craig Casino Royale, man, but that's what I grew up with.
You can fucking love him.
Speaking of that, that's a good transition here. The director of Goldeneye, Martin Campbell, also directed Casino Royale.
Oh.
He's
Do you know what? I didn't actually know that. In my research, didn't know that.
That's really dope.
Yep.
He did such a good job with Goldeneye, and then fucked off, and then they said we're starting a new Bond with a new actor to play the role. Do you want to start that one off too? And he said, sure, why not? And then he did Casino Royale. So Martin Campbell directed two of the best Bond movies of all time.
That's a fact.
That's impressive.
That's a fact.
That's a great resume to have two of the best Bond movies ever made.
What else is on his resume? Something that I may know.
There's probably a few things on there that I don't have it right in front of me. I could pull it up right now.
Oh, you got it.
Martin Campbell, New Zealand. He's from New Zealand, by the way.
I never start clickety clacking. These two are way faster typers than me.
The Mask of Zorro. I like that.
Mask
the one with Antonio Banderas?
Great film.
Vertical Limit. The Legend of Zorro. Edge of Darkness. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. He directed Green Lantern.
No,
that's one of the worst movies ever made, dude. Poor Martin Campbell. I'd say I forgive him, but
you just ruined it for everyone.
I never watched that all the way through. Green Lantern. I watched like 20 minutes.
Where he met the she-bitch? He met the she-bitch on that set.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Okay.
Blake Lively. But anyway, so Goldeneye, this is 1995. This is the first installment of the James Bond
reboot.
with the new actor Pierce Brosnan.
Reboot with Pierce Brosnan, but it was like 6 years after the Timothy Dalton, and fuck me, they really kicked it off. They really hit a home run with this one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well,
yes, absolutely. Sorry.
Yeah. So directed by Martin Campbell, screenplay by Jeffrey Kane and Bruce Fairstein. Story by Michael France, based on James Bond by Ian Fleming. Produced by Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. Cinematography by Phil Mahooks. I don't know if I said that right, but it sounded cool. Mahooks. And it sounds like a choo-choo train.
Oh, Broccoli would be the one that would trip you up.
No, it's just broccoli. Everybody eats that.
It is broccoli.
Especially if you want to have a good fart. This is edited by Terry Rollins and music by Eric Serra, which we will talk about that again later on. Cast: Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan, Isabella Scorupco as Natalia Simonova, Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatop, Joe Don Baker as Jack Wade, Alan Cumming as Boris Grishenko, Judi Dench as M, Robbie Coltrane as Valentin Dmitrovich Sukovsky, Samantha Bond as Miss Moneypenny.
So hang on.
This one is hard to say.
Bond called in the cast.
Miss Moneypenny is actually Samantha Bond. How about that?
Samantha Bond is her name.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
There's probably walked in for the interview or for the casting. They were just like, yeah, what's your last name? Bond. You're in.
She probably walked in like, hey, look at the name. Like I'm.
She walked in Bond.
She moonwalked in.
Right.
Just absolutely moonwalked in.
Here's
my passport.
Yeah. The defense
Give me a
minister,
job.
Mishkin, was played by. I'm trying to fucking say this name. This is.
Urimov.
I'm gonna butcher this. No, the guy who played defense minister, Mishkin, Tcheki
Michigan.
Cario. Yes, Michigan.
God, I could not.
Say that again.
Tcheki Cario. It's TCHEKY.
Russian accent, Russian actors.
Yeah.
It's kind of beyond our pay grade.
Yeah, and then you have Desmond Llewellyn, who's returning as Q. Mini Driver as Arena. Godfrey John as Arkady Orumov. Which so that's your main players in this cast here. This film was distributed by MGM / United Artists. The release dates were November 17th, 1995 in the U.S. and November 24th, 1995 in the U.K. Interesting that a James Bond movie would premiere a week later in the U.K. instead of a couple weeks earlier. Because I think they usually do the Bond movies like a week or two before the United States release.
That's generally the typical thing that we would do with any British release. So if it was like Bond, anything that comes out of British production, but it's not shocking that is what happened. But yeah, usually you would see it release in the UK first.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around, especially with what's technically a British movie, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, budget was $60 million. The box office return was $356.4 million.
And this was the first time
it was a big hit.
Bond came to the franchise, correct?
It is. It's Pierce Brosnan's first time.
Yeah, it was his first
film. Bond, which we can get into that now a little bit if you want to.
We will.
The casting of James Bond. Pierce Brosnan was originally going to. He was originally supposed to succeed Roger Moore as James Bond in 1986, but it didn't work out. He was prevented from doing so because of his contract to continue starring in the television series Remington Steele at the time. That is correct. Here's some. You want to hear the crazy shit about this, though? This is what I found out. Wikipedia is so fun because you never know how true these things are. But I've read some of the. There was a lot of glaring stuff in this Wikipedia page about this movie, and in particular the casting of James Bond. So apparently, before negotiating with Brosnan, guess who one of their choices was?
Who?
You guys are never going to call this one.
Well, what is? How relevant is this actor now?
Irrelevant to the channel every fucking week. It's Mel Gibson.
There's no fucking way.
Apparently, it says that on Wikipedia. I don't know how true this is, but it said it on the Wikipedia page. He's one of many names in here.
There would be a British uproar if Mel Gibson was
Mel Gibson was reportedly considered for the role of James Bond.
This might have been before he started killing Englishmen as a profession.
He was approached by the producer Albert R. Broccoli, but ultimately Mel Gibson turned down the role. His reason for turning down the role: Gibson has stated that he turned down the role because he felt he wanted to do other stuff and didn't want to be stuck in the franchise like Connery was.
He didn't want to get murdered by 50,000 Brits.
Yeah.
That is why.
The English in particular.
Wow.
No.
You have to narrow it down to the English.
Well, we got Mel Gibson. Holy fuck. Syphilis is going to be easy, but I'll let you guys take it on this one. It's an easy one.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Take that one. Off the top of my head.
Well, I'll wait for. I want to wait for Quentin to drop
it. Okay.
We'll get there.
That's your joke. We'll get there.
But as shocking as that was, Mel Gibson is not the only name that apparently was considered for James Bond. Hugh Grant is in there. Liam Neeson Liam Neeson passed on the role. Neeson said that the funny part is Neeson said that his fiance wouldn't marry him if he accepted the role.
Why? Because he would get mad pussy?
I don't know.
That's probably it. That's got to be a jealousy thing. Wasn't Liam Neeson like?
I
He has
love
a
Liam
pretty
Neeson.
tragic story with his wife. Like he's so unbelievably loyal to her. If
So
I'm
does
thinking,
Pierce Brosnan. With
like
his first wife, anyway.
Yeah, I think she passed away, Liam Neeson's wife, and like he is just like he's
did.
like, I'll never remarry again. Like that was my one and only wife.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that was like an American like morning show interview. Do you want to know who else was on the dog line for Trevelyan instead of Sean Bean?
Oh, I know this. There's two of them actually.
Yep,
There's
two.
It's Anthony Hopkins and Alan Rickman.
You're fucking right. There is.
Alan Rickman is in there. Yeah,
Great choices. Holy shit.
How about this one though? Because there's another James Bond name that I didn't mention that we're both admirers of, at least Craig. Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes for James Bond.
I think out of all the names that I mentioned, though, I think Ray Fiennes is the only one who could have pulled it off.
He could. I will not deny that. Ray
Oh God, yeah, Kingsman, bro.
Especially 95. Yeah. Ray Fiennes.
I wonder if he was like took the role in Kingsman, whichever movie that was, and was just like, I didn't get to do Bond. Can't pass this one up, you know?
Well, he also returned. Ray Fiennes is M later in the Daniel Craig movies.
Daniel Craig movies, that's right. Holy shit.
Yeah. So he actually does end up being in.
He's that good, right? He's that good. They just went. By the way, we had your retainer. Get yourself.
I need to see him in that Odyssey movie that he did.
I want to see that. Yes,
it looks really good.
Maybe we could all do that one time for a.
Just to fucking do it. I'm so down for that.
I really want to see it, especially since that Christopher Nolan one's going to come out in like a year or whenever.
It'll be a good comparison for sure.
When that Christopher Nolan one lands, we are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
This is
It'd be nice to do for the channel, Christopher Nolan versus whoever the director was for the one with Ray Fiennes.
Yeah.
How about cinema? We will watch that.
Yeah.
Done.
So that was some notes on.
You two can go together. I will go on my own. Hold my little handbag.
All right. Well, Captain Quintana just fucked off. So, but anyway, this movie, James Bond investigates crimes committed by the Villainous organization and the involvement of a high-ranking Russian military officer who was responsible for killing James's partner 006 in an infiltration of a Soviet chemical weapons facility 9 years later. So, hello, doggo.
We have Dalmatian. We have Dalmatian infiltration.
We do. Jane is actually in the pillows. It's just my camera.
She is completely taken.
She completely gets engulfed in the pillows. She really knows how to get up in there. Here we go. Some more before we get into some aspects of the film itself and like what happens and the cast and stuff. I got some pre-production notes that may be worth mentioning here. The producers. I actually copied and pasted this first part from the Wikipedia page because it sounds so familiar. And this is them in 1990, the early 1990s, apparently. The producers even thought of new concepts for the series, such as a period piece set in the 1960s, a female 007, or a black James Bond. Ultimately, they chose to return to the basics of the series, not following the sensitive and caring Bond of the Dalton films and the political correctness that started to permeate the decade. The film came to be seen as a successful revitalization, and it effectively adapted the series for the 1990s.
Only they could see us now.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
They could see us now.
God,
they've been trying it since the 1990s.
As a society, I'm so glad we moved on, but this is fucking awesome.
I read that and I went, holy shit, you could just copy and paste that into a video today. It's crazy.
That's insanity.
And we all know how all of us know how we feel about that. As far as a black Bond, I don't care as long as it's good.
Yeah, give us Idris Elba. I'm happy with
Idris Elba.
But making it a female Bond, or
I want, but if you're gonna do it, make.
Or here, how about this? How about this? Like, do what John Wick did. If you want to do a fucking badass, so they had John Wick, right? Great action thing. Now they're doing a spin-off movie called The Ballerina, starring Anya de Armas or whatever. I think that's how you pronounce it. Great. It's her own thing. You know what I mean?
I think you just say hot.
Hot. Whatever. Perfect.
She's a Bond girl too, by the way. She was in No Time. She was the best part of No Time to Die, right. I think.
No Time to Die. Yeah, she's great.
But yeah, that I saw that sentence and I went, "What?" I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I was like,
"Yeah,
that's crazy." Anyway, here's one that
we want a Bond to be. You,
dude.
I might
have get us kicked off of YouTube with that nonsense.
Shit myself. I'm so sorry.
They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, a guy actually farts on camera. We got to kick him off the internet."
Okay,
everyone. What were you gonna say, Craig? Craig, what were you gonna say?
We just want. Wait, we want British white male James Bond, and if he's not white, he has to be fucking Idris Elba. That is the.
That's the one exception.
That's the exception that we will fucking accept.
Idris Elba, like 20 years ago.
He's too old now.
Yeah,
but he's got to be pushing like 55.
Oh, dude, he's like 56.
Yeah, he's too old. He's like as old as Daniel Craig is.
I say he's got to be 55. Craig's like, nah, man, like 56.
He just went one up.
Literally.
I didn't even hear you.
He's 52.
If he's 56, I'm gonna.
I guess he's not that old.
It's like he's bidding for a car. I'll one up you. 56.
Daniel Craig has got to be way older than him.
No. I think Idris is.
No, Idris is 52. Daniel Craig is 57. Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. I didn't realize Daniel Craig was that old.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think he's
almost 60.
He started the Bonds in what, like early
2006.
Yeah.
2005, 2006.
So he was Bond for over 10 years, and then he's doing the Knives Out series now.
Which you've mentioned that is a very, very good film.
Great film. The second one I could care less for.
I have a section here that I think Craig is going to get a kick out of.
In the quick pre-production, it was the first Bond movie that ever decided to use CGI. Fun little fact.
Yeah, when they do.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't ruin anything. It's.
I thought it was a cool opening scene when the gun clearly was past her face, but like it came out of her mouth. I'm like, they're already shooting with the sex.
Yeah, where she opens her mouth and
sexy Bond thing
from like the shadow out of the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a bloody good Bond song. It's not Shirley Bassey. It's
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
One last little Google pre-production.
The theme was actually written by Bono, by the way.
I had mono once.
I don't like that.
Quick other little fun fact. The title Goldeneye comes from Ian Fleming's Jamaican estate where he wrote the Bond novels.
That's right. His estate's called Goldeneye.
Yeah.
That is true. Look at Quentin doing his research.
Oh my god! Yeah, for the first time.
It's not the first time.
No, but typically when I do research, like I get fact checked and it's like really wrong. So it's cool that I have you to back me up here.
I'm just been a dick.
No, right. No, you love your dick, Craig. Sorry.
Because I was born a dick.
I love it.
A dick.
So here's a section here that I have, and I think Craig's going to like it. It's called Pissing Off Governments. And so I'll give an example. Wait, I'm saving that one for last because that one kills me. Okay, so I got 3 instances here. So the French Navy, the lovely French, the French Navy provided full use of the frigate Lafayette and their newest helicopter of the time, the Eurocopter Tiger. They lent those to the film production team. The French government also allowed the use of Navy logos as part of the promotional campaign for it. However, the producers had a dispute with the French Ministry of Defense over Brosnan's opposition to the French nuclear weapons testing of the time and his involvement with Greenpeace. And as a result, the French premiere of the film was canceled.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the French were not even after they lent them all those nice toys that they played with during the film.
Yeah, boys with toys.
The French do like their toys.
They do.
Very kinky.
I don't think. I think if we're gonna leave to anybody throwing a dig at the French, it's got to be the Englishman in the middle here. That's his job. Yeah, there you go.
You know what's really fucking funny, King Boomer? You had mentioned to me, and I hope this is okay, but like typically in France and that movies are highly rated. Like French movies get really high ratings. I don't remember when you mentioned that little comment to me, but me and Christina, my wife, was trying to find a movie, and she found one. She goes, "Oh my God, this movie has insane reviews. It's like, is it 100%?" I looked at her and said, "It's probably French." Sure enough, the entire movie was in French. And she was like, "How did you know?" I was like, "Brian."
Well, here's the thing, because I'm not hip to the French culture or anything. Like, I don't know what's going on with that. But what I do know about French films is that the French will just review bomb positively any French film that's out there. So that it's just it'll say like 98% favorable ratings, and that's because out of 1,000 people, 998 of them reviewed it are French.
It's not just that; it's the fact that they love how artistic the French films are.
Yeah,
and they are. You're right.
Are so artsy fartsy. That's what we would say in England. Artsy fartsy. They will just go, "No, you don't understand your English."
I'm gonna watch The Count of Monte Cristo, the one that Brian has been dying for me to watch. But I'm also gonna watch the French one because it's reviewed so highly, and I want to compare the two in my own time.
Okay. All right.
I bet there's someone with a cigarette going, "You don't understand.
You'll never understand. Silly American."
I'm actually kind of curious to watch the French one, but
the reviews are crazy. But once again,
I'm also worried about it too, because French. Here's the thing: I'm not dissing French film, but they are different.
They're very.
We Americans are too artsy. They are their
own entity.
Right?
They are their own entity. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, I feel like a lot of them you got to be French to really understand.
You're not too big of a fan of artsy films, right? Like Robert Eggers, for instance.
No, I like artsy films. Okay. Here's the thing. Thank you for bringing up Robert Eggers before we get back into the
you piece
stuff.
Of shit. Let's hear it.
But I figured it out with Robert Eggers. I figured out. You know what it is that bothers me the most? They don't make you care about the characters enough in his movies.
No, that's like most A24 movies.
Yeah, but that's
everyone's disposable.
That's why I like Northman the most, though, because it makes you care about the characters more than any of his other films.
But you still give it like a 6.
I did. I should have rated it a 7, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think of it, that's the one rating. That's the one rating I regret. It is probably. I saw Nosferatu and I was like, "Fuck! I should have rated Northman higher."
Yo, everyone in the comments on our Nosferatu video, at least on the TikTok that I posted, was like, "Yeah, that movie was ass." I'm over here like,
"Yeah, I saw that too." No, I did a reaction to it on my Patreon, and all the comments below were like, "Yeah, I thought it was going to be good, but it was kind of shit."
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah.
I
didn't even like it that much, but it's not ass.
I don't think it's shit. It's just
gorgeous movie.
It's a gorgeous.
It's frustrating. Yes, it is. That's what I love about his movies, but it's just they're frustrating, man. But anyway, I digress.
Sorry, guys. I always got to bring it.
It's because I want them to be so good. You know, it's
fair. We'll see when we get his actual werewolf film. We'll see what happens, Brian.
If everything else kept up with the cinematography, if the cinematography was the baseline and everything kept up with that, fucking hell, we be gushing over those films.
Yeah.
I gush over them because they're perfect, but I digress.
You do.
All right, let's get back to. I got two more for you with pissing off governments.
Let's do it.
So the next one is about the opening title sequence. According to producer Michael G. Wilson, some communist parties protested against socialist symbols being destroyed, not by governments, but by bikini-clad women with the hammers and stuff. Yeah, that opening sequence part. But in particular, to be specific, to be specific, in particular, certain Indian communist parties were very upset, threatening to boycott the film. Imagine that, man.
Jesus.
That's funny. So there you go. Another pissed off group of people.
Well, that would not happen nowadays.
Please the world.
Oh, yeah. Here's my favorite one. You guys are going to lose your mind with this.
Shoot.
So, especially Craig, I think. He's going to really love this.
Americans?
So the scene in which the Admiral is being seduced and killed by Xenia, that had to be rewritten following a demand. I'm stressing this word, by the way. Keyword, a demand from the U.S. military, after which the nationality of the Admiral was changed from American to Canadian.
What?
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Blame Canada.
Dude, it's 1995. The movie hasn't even fucking been shot yet. And the United States military knocks on your door and goes, "Hey, we heard about your script.
That's fucking.
We heard about your script, you asshole. You're gonna change that. That guy isn't gonna be a U.S. military admiral anymore. He's gonna be something else. You better change that."
Come back in screen. Get your ass back here.
I blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, "You're telling me that in 1995 the U.S. military had so much pull that they could change the character of a movie before it even got filmed? That's crazy." And the pettiness of it too.
That doesn't surprise me so much. Right, Quentin. Xenia on the top. So crazy bitch who just squeezed him to death.
Yeah, the orgasm queen.
What nationality do you think she is? Yeah,
what nationality do I think she is? Like, you're not talking about in the movie. You're talking about the actress, correct?
No. Movie. So what is she portraying?
She's
No. Get the fuck off the keyboard.
I'm not on the keyboard.
Fuck off the keyboard, you dude.
So
teeth are so nice.
What's going on here? What?
Just don't have fake teeth.
what nationality do I think that she is in the movie?
Yeah,
like not the actress. I would guess Russian, Ukrainian, maybe.
Okay,
That's
Brian,
my guess.
I'm pretty sure you know.
What?
I'm pretty sure you know. Do you want to?
Yeah, I know. What's the thing I'm missing here?
I don't know. I'm lost, bro. What do you think?
So
what do
of
you
course,
think the nationality is?
she's not Russian. She's Georgian.
She's not a Russian. She's a Georgian.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a country that's right below Russia in the what is it? Is it the Caucasus
West
Mountains
Russia.
or whatever it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
So Georgian or just Georgian?
Georgian.
Okay.
Georgian.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
But I think exactly. That's why I was confused because Craig was throwing that out there like it was the most important piece.
I thought there was going to be some crazy like revelation.
Yeah.
Oh, she's from California. Like, oh my god.
I don't know. I mean, she looked like a Hollywood actress. She was gorgeous.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pissing off governments. There's another part of the movie that we should briefly touch on, and that's the music, the score, which was composed by Eric Serra. prolific Bond composer John Barry, who he did the original themes and stuff, and he was still alive at the time. He said that despite an offer by Barbara Broccoli, he turned it down. Martin Campbell would later express his disappointment with the score by Eric Serra, citing budget constraints and the difficulty of working with Serra, who became uncooperative when asked to rescore the St. Petersburg tank chase scene after Campbell rejected his submitted track. So
I'm curious how awful it must have been.
Well, you heard it. Oh, you mean the track we didn't hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's at times it's pretty bad.
I think that's the Brit in me.
I don't know. It's this for like half. Here's the thing: like half of the score I like, and then half of it I don't. I think it's like 50-50 with me, because there will be times where some of Eric Serra's score, I'm like, yeah, that fits perfectly with the film, and then there's other times where I feel like if it wasn't the James Bond movie on the screen, I'd be watching a early 80s porn film.
This movie was pretty much an early 80s porn film.
It really was.
Just like, but to the point of like extreme BDSM and extreme kinky shit. Like this, I'm pretty sure I watched this Georgian girl orgasm at least 150 times on screen. Whether it had been just from her hitting someone or being like tossed up against the wall, she orgasmed every single time she was on screen. Even when she's dying, I'm pretty sure
I'm not gonna lie.
She got one out.
Well, do you want to talk about? I hope I'm saying her name right, but Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatopp a little bit.
Yeah,
because this might
is that the redhead?
Like she's gorgeous.
No, this is the girl you're talking about that orgasmed 150 times.
Yeah,
she's. I'm not gonna lie, she's freaking gorgeous in this film.
Yeah,
but you just look at it and you think, crazy bitch. Like when she's like every
Buck Cherry probably wrote the song after her. Buck Cherry wrote the song "Crazy Bitch" after watching this film.
Yeah, this might be the best Bond girl of all time.
I would not be surprised.
I thought,
like, I'm not gonna lie, she's fucking hot as shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude.
I thought James Bond had standards. I thought he always slept with really extremely hot women. The girl who was sent to like do the therapy evaluation on him was not it. And he was just like, he's like, I'm Bond. I must.
You know what? She's
not bad looking. Come on,
it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough, bro.
He said rough.
That shit was rough.
No.
That is every girl next door. That is that's the girl next door kind of hot.
My next door neighbor is 98, so I can't really relate. Love you, Norma.
Yeah, and she moves like Xenia.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, after she died.
God.
Takes out them dentures. Don't get me started. No, I'm kidding.
You got a gum job.
Kidding.
Oh.
No gummies here.
All right. I know this is
sorry, Norma,
shit, but we got to reel it in a little bit.
Sorry.
Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatopp. She might be the best, in my opinion. She might be the best Bond girl of all time. She shows up looking fine as hell in a Ferrari in that countryside driving scene against Bond and his Aston Martin. Then she is shown looking fine as hell in a fancy casino, owning everyone that goes up against her at the baccarat table. While smoking a fucking cigar, by the way.
She can't look bad.
That's crazy.
I bet that.
That should have been the sign right there.
Yeah.
I bet that put the hairs in the back of your neck stand up. Smoking a cigar. I bet that. But
that part didn't turn me on, but that part was just alarming. Because as soon as you see a woman smoking a cigar, run. Because she's out of her mind.
Did anyone notice that her vagina had the power of the Joker's gas?
Wait.
This is like Harley
Oh, are you
Quinn
talking
in a
about,
different universe.
1,000 people.
She's Harley Quinn in a different universe. Her pussy literally killed someone and then died smiling. This is Harley Quinn crossing universes before she was ever invented.
I don't think that was excretions. I think that was more her leg strength.
Oh, no, man.
So
he
you're talking
smiled.
about the now Canadian admiral.
The now Canadian
since
admiral.
he couldn't be an American one.
Yes.
So yeah, he
Yeah.
So Bond shows up to this casino. He starts flirting with Xenia. Plenty of innuendos are used in this scene. Bond then beats her at Baccarat, and she curses under her breath, looking fine as hell, if I may add again. As she walks away, Bond wants to talk to her more, but she introduces her to her short, fat admiral friend, and it's like, hey, pretty boy, I know you want to fuck me, but I'm going to go home and smack around this little Canadian admiral bitch who looks like a toe, and you're just going to have to sit there and live with that.
He doesn't look like a toe. He looks like a hairy thumb. That's what he looks like.
That's worse.
Like,
That's
This
worse.
dude does not look. He's not on the appealing scale. Like
Nah.
he's not even on the baseline. Xenia, I can't breathe. Oh my god.
So
God.
what happens is she takes bitch boy home, and this is one of the wildest scenes in a Bond movie you will ever see. She is once
Hands
again
down.
looking fine as hell, and she is fucking the brains out of this dude on a yacht. And this Canadian admiral,
It's a
by the
strong
way,
sentence. Fucking the brains out of some dude on a yacht.
there's a lot of strong stuff going on in this scene.
There is.
So she is pre Instagram model. Because that's all they do now.
Yeah.
But
Dude.
she was ahead of the curve, bitch.
Great role for her. She's fantastic in this film too. Beyond her being attractive, she's actually like a good actress.
Oh, this is
She-
by
no,
far
she-
her most
genuinely,
memorable
I
role.
really like her. She's awesome. I genuinely like
Does
her.
she get a little schmack in this?
Oh my god! So
No, she dies by helicopter. So
That's right.
yeah. So this Canadian
what about
admiral,
more than a smack?
this Canadian admiral is in for the best and worst night of his life.
Best,
She's
not worst, best.
She's smacking him around, biting him, breaking his neck, cornholing, slob gobbing, pegging, infiltrating, you name it.
Yeah, did he
it's
get
happening.
pegged? I thought I saw that. It looks like he gets pegged in a scene.
I don't know. I don't think he does, but he might have in the. It might have been left on the cutting room floor because apparently this scene was way more diabolical than it was when they shot it.
Oh, he got pegged for
So
sure.
it could have been a lot worse.
Jesus, that is.
You know what pegging is, right, Craig?
I fucking know what pegging is, mate.
I bet you do.
You fucking
Yeah.
won.
I have to
Yeah.
pee, but I can hear everything. I'll be right back.
Okay, good. So while he's
As
out
long
there,
as
I'm
we
going to
can't
type.
hear anything.
Yeah. So while he's doing that, I'm going to talk about the
Yeah.
the diabolical Soviet sex demon here. So she's clawing this dude, biting him, doing whatever she wants. She then flips him over and gets him in a vice grip with her legs. The admiral is pleading with her that he can't breathe, and she does not give a fuck. The more he struggles and pleads for his life, the more she loves it.
She's getting off. Yeah.
Oh, she's literally having an orgasm killing this dude while he's
Yeah,
inside her.
Well, I don't think he is. I think she's just getting off on the killing.
Well, they can't show that, but I bet he's
it's a weird.
in there.
I bet she can't feel it. Look at the guy.
That's not the part she's feeling, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she's going ham.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of her raison d'etre in this whole film, is for her to be just this maniacal, sadistic bitch.
God bless her.
Yeah. This is the most. I think this is the most diabolical sex scene in James Bond history. If you stop the movie here, which at this point we are only 25 minutes into a 2-hour movie, you can take just the scene she was in so far and declare her the greatest Bond girl in history, just based off of this behavior. Because this is some wild stuff, man. and she's unbelievable at it. Like, she had me convinced that she's like actually this crazy.
She has persistent genital arousal disorder. I had to look up the scientific term.
Did you just look that up?
This is actually a real thing.
It is. So no, not the pain part, but it's someone who just can't stop orgasming. It's just like a constant day-to-day thing. This is her.
Wow.
I think it's more related to like when she's hurting someone or she's been it's like a sadomasochistic thing because when they're on the train, like which we'll get to
She
later,
could just be the Antichrist, you know?
Yeah.
Which could be, but Antichrist is pretty fucking hot, you know.
Yeah.
By the way, when Bond goes to the yacht and investigates, he opens the closet and out pops the dead admiral. And when he hits the floor, this is what Quentin was referring to. He hits the floor, and the camera pans over to him, and the look on his face is legendary. This guy had a great time.
Quentin, give us the face.
What
Give
face?
us the face.
Yeah.
I think Brian had it with the crossed eyes.
Yeah, he did. Just by looking at his face, he does not regret the night he had at all. Even
listen, man, if there's a way to go out, that's it.
That's the way to go out.
Yeah, good thinking, Craig.
But I must say that
tips there.
Yeah, the Famke Janssen is probably she's so good in this. It's crazy. She murders every scene that she's in.
Literally,
there's a scene later after
everyone.
And murders it. Speaking of that, there's a scene later after her and Urimov steal the Goldeneye firing key. As Urimov is playing it off like it's a war simulation test fire, Xenia opens fire on over a dozen Russian computer technicians. And as she's doing it, she's literally creaming in her military uniform.
Facts.
It's diabolical, dude.
I would buy that uniform right off of her.
You can have the uniform. I'll take the underwear.
Oh my god!
When
she finally stops firing her guns,
I'm not married.
Yeah, when she finally stops firing her guns, she's coming down from her orgasm, and the camera pans over to Orimov, who's standing there in disbelief, like, what the fuck? He's like, I know she's super hot, but what the fuck did I get myself into?
Bro, he has a chance. She didn't have standards either.
No, she didn't.
If a sadistic fuck like Orimov is looking at it, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you know, you're off your rocker.
Good villain name for him too, by the way.
You're off the fucking scale. Like, standards and practices are coming after you.
Yeah. Like, in fact, I don't know how you guys felt about her performance, in the sense that, like, it was fucking phenomenal. I thought it was so good that, like, there's times where I'm forgetting that Isabella Scorupco, who plays Natalia Simonova, is almost an afterthought in this film when you put it next to Famke Janssen as Xenia.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that far because she is, like, I'm not gonna lie,
they're both so.
Well, here's the crazy thing, like, Isabella Scorupco, she's a good Bond girl, like one of the better ones.
Wait, is this the redhead?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's good.
She's great.
But simply of the fact that, like, Famke Janssen as Xenia is so fucking unbelievably good. It's kind of like you view the Natalia character as an afterthought sometimes. At least I did. I found it very similar to The Dark Knight, and, like, in this aspect, because in that film you got Aaron Eckhart, who plays Harvey Dent, Two-Face, and he's good. He's good as that character, and it's memorable and a good all-around performance. But it's completely overshadowed and just outdone by Heath Ledger as the Joker, to the point where you're almost not even talking about him anymore.
But that's Nolan. Like, Nolan will put the craziest cast together, and, like, it's bound that one of them is going to outshine the other. You know?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but you ask anyone who's a genuine fan of The Dark Knight, is he any good? Yeah, he bloody is. He absolutely is. He's freaking great. Two-Face, when he does the point on the back of when he's sat in the back of the taxi or limo, whatever it is.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's spot on.
But that's what I'm saying. If you actually went back and took Heath Ledger's Joker out of that movie, we would be talking a lot more favorably about Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face. Because it's a good performance. Yeah. I think the same is true with this. If you took Xenia out of this movie, then we'd be talking a lot more about how good Isabella Scorupco is.
I mean, they're both great. I mean, I think I started off the podcast, maybe it was before the podcast, but talking a little bit more so about Elizabeth. I thought in this film, she stood out. Maybe it's because I hated Honey so much in Dr. No. It allowed me to love this character, but she was just fucking perfect in this film. I'm not even talking just from like the physical whatever. Like that's not what I'm trying to talk about here. What I mean is that as an actress, her character, she was smart, she was badass. It was a strong female lead, and I fucking thought she was great, man.
Which is rare.
Yeah, it is.
That's a rare thing.
It is.
Which we. Christ was.
You got like Sigourney. You got Sigourney Weaver.
Female character is done right.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver. You got her. There's a lot. I don't want to sound fucked up because there's a shit ton. Emily Blunt,
Gina Torres from Firefly. Because I don't want to keep like saying
Angela Bassett,
Linda Hamilton, and like same old. There are so many, and it's so easy to do, and
I even like the actress in Alien, Romulus, a lot.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Still haven't seen it.
I don't think Craig. Me and Craig know something where I don't think he's ever going to watch it now.
Who, me?
No, me and Craig.
Why?
Can't talk about it. I can't talk about it on the thing.
Well, I'm gonna fuck you guys up, and I'm gonna pick it down the line eventually. So,
okay, no, I'd be open to watch it. I just think it's. I'll tell you about it afterwards. It's just an inside joke between me and Craig.
Many bad things about. I've heard it's.
I don't have any bad things.
What it was, but I've not heard it's bad.
No.
So, I'm not scared about watching it.
I got a. We can talk about this opening sequence to open up the movie a little bit here.
Let's do it.
The opening sequence with the bungee jump off the dam.
Oh, and that
longest bungee jump in movie history, right?
Yep, that was a record-breaking bungee jump. And
Tom Cruise himself actually was the stuntman in this.
That was cool as shit. Watching that,
he wishes
he just keeps going. And eventually you see it pull down, and that's when he pulls the gun out. And
such a dope opening scene, man. I mean,
dude, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Brian, how many times in this film did your brain just go, that's from the game?
Actually, I'm going to disappoint you with this. Actually, none, because I view them both differently, and the game doesn't. It actually changes things about the plot in little ways.
Does it really?
As soon as I saw that bungee jump, I just thought that's the jump from the game.
It's cool in the game.
I gotta play through. There's probably an emulator I can find.
Oh yeah.
But I was different.
Played it back in the day on split screen, but
a lot of people. Craig's alluding to the fact that a lot of people who grew up during that time, Goldeneye for the Nintendo 64 was a major deal.
And it sold 8 million copies.
Yeah, it was the best game from the console. I'm one of the rare people though who were that age where I actually watched the movie before I played the video game. So I love the video game too.
But I played that game so much because I was trying to get all the achievements. So every single time I'm going through, like when he's going up to the to do the dive. I played that so much, like everything, the train scene, which obviously later, I just had that all. Like I'd done it so many times. It was just a memory lane trip.
Yeah.
Love that, bro.
Yeah.
My N64 game was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
But that
I never played. I played that. Really.
That explains so fucking much about you,
Brian. That would be one for your Patreon, hands down. You would be in tears, laughing throughout the entirety of it.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to throw my shit at you. A great supply of fish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some statue, little twat? Dum dum.
That is literally on the game.
That's insane.
And then you're fighting a giant. You're fighting a giant pile of shit.
Yeah, and you've got to fight.
That's enough. That's enough. I don't want to hear anymore.
Roll.
I never thought I'd hear that sentence in my life.
Oh yeah, it's gold.
All right, so opening sequence: the bungee jump off the dam, where the Soviet chemical weapons facility. I always love this opening sequence, but analyzing this as a bad film critic here, there are some things that you can point out that are worth noting on a negative level. But I'll get to them in a second. So the bungee jump off the dam is awesome. Pierce Brosnan knocking out the Soviet soldier while he's taking a shit is awesome. The introduction of Sean Bean as 006 is awesome. I particularly like it when they're both sneaking further into the facility, and then they get sneaked to the window, and then they stop sneaking and walk confidently into the laboratory, and 006 just kills the scientist in cold blood. It's like they sneak, and then just strut in. Bam. It's fucking great. This whole sequence is awesome.
Like I am so proud of you.
Oh yeah?
I sneak.
I wasn't aware that was.
Is that what the
really
Brits do? Part? They just sneak.
They're very sneaky, sir.
Very sneaky.
Yeah.
You are very sneaky. You're a Russian.
Yeah.
I see you, comrade.
So they get into the chemical weapons room, and the alarm goes off, so they have to prepare for battle. 2 Soviet soldiers enter the room, and 006 immediately hits them with 2 running shots from his pistol, and both of them are out of the game. Those were some precision shots that are not impossible, but really hard to pull off. I was like, man, there's a reason he's 006.
Right.
So James Bond attaches the bombs to the chemical weapons barrels, and more Soviet troops show up outside the windows.
Brits, we do it right, man. How we do it, man.
Yeah.
I thought you guys didn't have guns.
Our forces do, and we shoot them like motherfuckers.
What'd you say? Go ahead, Brian.
So I'm trying to figure out where I
James Bond.
Yeah. So James Bond attaches the bombs to the chemical weapons barrels, and more Soviet troops show up outside the windows, and they are being led by Colonel Arumov, who is played by Godfrey John. And if there ever was a guy who looks made to be a Soviet military officer, it's this guy. He just looks like he is the perfect Soviet colonel here. He looks born to play this role, dude.
It just suits him 100%.
Suits him, sir.
He's spawned.
All right. So his men shoot down the windows, and Trevelyan mows down a bunch of these Soviet goons here. Another door is blown open, and more Soviet goons come through. James Bond tells 006 to get on it, but nobody responds. He slowly goes out to check the situation, and 006 is on his knees with Oromov pointing his gun at him. So a very tense scene here. All of his men are aiming their weapons at James Bond. Now, this part right here, this is where you can have some fun with nitpicking at a good opening scene here, because I love the opening scene, but it does have some things where you can go, yeah, maybe that's probably not a good deal here.
Stupid,
was it the stormtrooper aim?
No, he's walking behind.
First off, Oromov's men all have their guns drawn at James Bond, and Oromov is standing in front of them. So if one of them directly behind him shoots, it's a big problem here. This is a bad idea. Yeah, if there's like 4 or 5 guys directly behind him, and if they open fire, he's a dead man.
Yeah.
So it's not a good place for a military officer
He
to stand.
loves to say, hold your fire, especially in parts where they should just kill James Bond too. Like, this is one of those parts, understandably, hold your fire. But in a scene that I'm sure we'll get to, I'll let you finish this, and could just continue.
Okay.
Dude, that is the most American thing you can say, because no Brit would think, all right, if all them shot,
don't stand in front of a gun when it's being pointed at someone. Yeah, you stay alive that way.
You're thinking.
I thought that would just. I didn't think that was American. I thought that was just military procedure 101. Don't stand in front of a fucking pointed gun.
That's gun control 101. We would just be fucking shooting everything.
Oh God. So
sorry, I know that is so stupid, but I am just gonna call us out. That is exactly what we would just spray like ammunition.
Yeah.
We deal with the consequences later. But that is the difference between where you guys are and we are, and that is why that exists.
So Trevelyan yells out. He yells out for England, James, as Orumov is counting down, and then Orumov pops him. And that's the end of 006. Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
Just the only movie where he doesn't actually die until
he does.
Until he does.
Until he does.
So I'm just winking because, he was taken out, but, Anyway, so when 006 gets killed, Bond runs back behind the gas tanks, and Orumov's men open fire. Aside from the fact that Orumov should be dead from friendly fire in that exchange there, miraculously, the gas tanks, which contain Soviet gas that will kill everybody in the room, I'm assuming, they do not even have a scratch on them. Not one of them ruptured. Not a single one. No bullet holes, nothing.
That's the James Bond luck right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many bullets do you think came out at that
time?
100?
At least 100 in like fucking 10 seconds. Not even 2 seconds.
Yeah. So Orumov.
2 seconds. What?
Okay, moving on. Orumov says, "Hold your fire. You'll blow the gas tanks. Too late, buddy. Everybody is dead, or they should be, because all the gas tanks would have ruptured from that exchange. Gas tanks. Bond then grabs.
They've got those remote detonators on them again
with time charges.
Yeah, he's got the chargers on them. Yeah, he got them set to blow.
This movie is
6 minutes or 3 minutes, guys.
It's 6 minutes.
It depends.
To you, which is 3 minutes to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bond then grabs a rolling rack that has a bunch of the gas tanks on them, shielding him from being shot. He uses this to move across the room, which amuses Orumov. Then one of Orumov's men gets really nervous, and he fires at James Bond from directly behind Orumov again. If this didn't kill Orumov, it should have at least blown his fucking eardrum off. Apparently, Go ahead, Q.
There is 2 people in this film that or one person who claims he's invincible throughout the entire film, basically. This title should have been given to Orlov because this motherfucker refused to die when all odds were stacked up against him. He lived through some crazy shit, man.
He did. He should have got popped by his own men like multiple times in this one scene alone, and this is the first time we've seen this guy. But apparently it doesn't kill him. It just enrages him because Orumov, he quickly turns around and then offs the guy for being a jabroni.
But you have Boris. I am invincible.
Yeah,
Alan
I know.
Cumming.
Yeah, I know that human life was not valued very highly in the Soviet Union, but goddamn, this colonel is taking no precautions for his own life. He's standing in front of his men. It's now that I'm watching this back, it bothers me. It really does.
Well, yeah.
Are you
There's
farting?
also-
What was that noise?
No, my chair
Oh.
creaking.
For once, I wasn't. But then there's the scene that follows up, when Bond is making his escape and Orlov is outside. Bond is making it for the plane, and Orlov says, "Don't shoot." Once again, screams, "Don't shoot." Fucking light Bond up. This is your one and only chance where you've actually had a really clear shot. Like, you got fucking 30 men behind you, and you're screaming at them not to shoot when all you want is this guy dead. Why not shoot? I don't know.
Was he screaming, don't shoot
Bro,
when he was
literally
outside?
was screaming.
We want to
Yeah.
interrogate the man. We want to know what he knows. That's
No, they've already tried to kill him 30 times. Why suddenly stop now as he's escaping?
No, because movie magic.
Movie, can't say that.
I think it's the other thing here is you have like 100 people chasing this dude and nobody can shoot this motherfucker.
Yeah,
I don't care how. I don't care. I mean, I know
bro.
he's James Bond, but 100 people, even James Bond's not getting out of there.
yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, just shoot and.
It is an awesome opening scene, though.
It's a sick opening scene. I do want to say
does have
something
issues.
about this film that I did not particularly like. If I looked away for a half a second, I missed something major. And I had to rewind the film many, many times. No matter how many times I tried to watch it, I kept having to find myself to literally rewind because I had missed something major. And I was like, am I just not paying fully attention? But I was like, no, even when I rewound it, it's like major scenes throughout this film feel like they take place so fast. This film is very fast-paced movie. I came from watching Dr. No, which I have a lot of love for. And I came into this film. Dr. No really takes his time. I don't know if you guys remember, but I really admired that about the film. I understand that people want to see the action and this, and that. But I love the character of Bond. I like seeing his intelligence, and he is very smart in this film. He has definitely more gadgets than the OG. But this film was so fast for me. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. It was just such a switch up from the OG Bond that it threw me for quite a loop. Once again, I don't think it's actually a bad thing. It's just something that I particularly wasn't super fond of. I got to throw that in there.
Yeah. That's what you think. That's what you think. I get what you mean, but it's just they are putting so much more. That's just them putting more effort into this film. Because there is so much more effort in this film.
It is a great film. The story is great. There was a part where I was like, am I watching a Michael Bay film with a way better story?
Oh.
It's like any chance for an explosion, there was one.
Oh, no. Everything explodes.
The sex was
fucking
highly... This was a very sexually driven movie as well. I know Bond. Bond is, you have the sex, you have the action, the spy. That's what you're there for, right? But this movie, there was so much sex. I had to turn it down because I didn't want my wife thinking I was watching porn in our living room at one point. Like,
it was all the Xenia scenes.
Straight up, bro. Every scene she's in, she's coming.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, she's got a bit of an issue. I'm not going to lie.
Highly sexualized film.
I send her to a doctor. She's got.
Or you could just play doctor. It's okay.
Oh my god! I
had to get that
compared
out.
this movie to a fucking Michael Bay film.
Not the movie, just the amount of explosions are up there.
The amount of fucking discipline that me and Craig had to use to not be enraged by that sentence. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Oh yeah, don't worry. This will come full circle, and we will reap our vengeance on you.
There
You guys have
actually
reaped
is
all my movies so
Here's
far.
the thing, though. You mentioned Michael Bay. There actually is one Michael Bay film that I really like.
What is
If
it?
it's not The Rock, I will kick the shit out of you too.
It is not. It's not The Rock. It's not The Rock. It's The Island.
The Island.
Did he do The Island? What with
Yes, with Ewan McGregor and
Ewan
Scarlett
McGregor
Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
I love
Yeah.
Ian McGregor.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay.
Yeah, I really like that movie.
But The Rock is
Sean Bean as well. I forgot Sean Bean's in that.
The Rock is a fucking class movie.
Yeah,
So
I know why people
The Island
like The Rock, and
has
I'm not
horrific
saying
reviews.
I'm not saying you're wrong. But I definitely feel like The Island is the
No,
one.
no,
Michael Bay film. If
Michael
you had to
Bay-
pick one Michael Bay film, for me, it's The Island.
Transformers one for me. I really enjoyed. Not saying the acting was
don't-
remotely good in that film, but it's what I grew up
No,
with.
but you know,
Yeah,
it's
just-
not.
just
It's not a
Michael
critically
Bay-
acclaimed film, but it's fun. I think Transformers is fun. The first one.
Is there any movie that Michael Bay has ever done where he doesn't just try to find the most attractive girl to put in?
Yeah,
Right.
on The Rock, there's Nicolas Cage's wife is pretty hot, but she's not like a Megan Fox.
It's called The Rock.
The
Yeah.
Rock, yeah, The Rock, 1996.
Yeah,
Sean Connery?
It was a big movie. It was
Sean-
probably
yes,
like
Sean
yeah.
Connery.
Oh shit, Candyman's in this. Tony Todd.
Tony
No
Todd
shit.
is in this. Yep. And fuck, what's his name? I'm doing.
Oh, the guy with the voice, Bokem, Webwine.
Bo-
Oh,
Bokem.
Dr. Cox is in this. What the fuck? John C.
Yes,
McGinley.
Yeah, Dr. Cox is in this. Ed Harris.
Ed Harris is an amazing actor.
He's
Ed Harris.
so.
Yeah, Ed Harris
fucking
is good.
in that film.
What is he in? He's in that Viggo Mortensen movie where he's Viggo Mortensen is moved. He's
Mother.
trying to act like a like
Mother.
a mob boss. What is it called? No, Viggo Mortensen
Mob Boss.
moves. Yeah, so Viggo Mortensen moves. He was involved in the mob in Philly.
Oh shit, that one. I can't remember.
Ed Harris is in that.
I know when you.
Is that A History of Violence?
I believe
Yes.
so. Yeah, that is. Yep.
What you just said.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Great movie.
But,
All right.
Yeah, Ed Harris, like that. Spoilers. That's something I'm going to pick down the line.
Heard that.
The Rock is so.
Stars
And then I'm
Dwayne
gonna-
the Cock
and then I'm gonna-
Johnson.
And then I'm going to
Worst
send you the
actor in
wrong. God
history.
damn it, he beat me to it. I was going to say I'm going to send you the wrong file, and it's going to be like one
Dwayne
of
the
the
Cock
Rock's
Johnson.
movies. Yeah,
It's going to be walking.
It's going to be The Rock's highlights from WWE.
something like that. Yeah,
It's going to be SummerSlam 1998.
Worst actor
Yeah.
ever.
Oh,
He's
not
actually
that bad.
before we get back into Goldeneye, because you guys we mentioned the Dwayne the Rock Johnson there for a second. He's got a movie coming out where he plays like some UFC fighter from like the 80s. And he's
Really?
completely trans. If you saw a picture of it, you would be like, "Holy shit!" Because he's got a full head of hair. It's he's. I think he's wrapping.
Is he
either
trying to go for an
I think he
Oscar?
wrapped up filming for it. Yeah. So apparently he's doing
The
that.
Smashing
and-
Machine.
Yes, and not just that, but he's also in talks to be the lead in a Martin Scorsese film, and apparently it's legit. So
Please.
we might, even though I agree with you guys, and I'm a huge Rock fan from wrestling,
So am I.
but I
But no,
am not
I'm
a
done
fan
with-
of
I'm
his
done with him.
movies.
I am fucking done with him and his movie. You've got to be kidding me, man.
Well, his movies are just he plays himself in like every movie. But if he's if he's going into these two nuggets of information here, if he's going for something different and
He might be trying to get some.
if he pulls one out of the two off, I'm going to be impressed. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, but one like here's the thing: if he wins an Oscar for doing a really good job in one film, I'll be livid.
Well,
okay, yeah, I get that.
I'd be fucking livid.
I get
Like
that,
everything that you're talking about here sounds like it's going to be Oscar bait.
He hasn't got the fucking backup to justify that. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
never
if he
had
pulls
that.
it off, it would honestly be cool to see. There's no denying that. Like if he does great in a film, I root for him, even though he's a cock on set from all the news.
It would be, as a wrestling fan, it would be cool. But even as a wrestling fan,
Yeah.
no, because I'm a film fan as well. No, there's no fucking universe where this exists.
Well, I guess I'm the
Where's
loner
he
in the room.
going?
I want him
After
to, if he's actually doing these things. Well, I know he's doing the one with the UFC fighter, but if he's going to pull off a great performance, I'd love to see it.
If it's good, fine, cool. I'll watch it, and I will happily watch it. We both know it won't be. It's going to be him playing Dwayne Johnson, and it's going to be shit.
You never know. You never know.
I will be happy to be proven wrong.
Okay. Well, he's. I mean, one of them's the UFC one, and the other one's, Martin Scorsese is attached to direct.
Martin Scorsese.
So, if anybody can pull that kind of a performance out of him, it's Martin fucking Scorsese.
Fuck yeah.
So.
I know Martin Scorsese's like.
I'm going to tell you exactly who he's going to play in a Martin
800
Scorsese
years
movie.
old.
He's going to be a fucking bouncer at a mob club. That's what The Rock is going to play in a Scorsese film.
Oh yeah. I don't even know what the premise is behind the movie, but you might be right.
Here we go. Here he comes.
All right, so let's get back to the film here. Just want to touch briefly. Judi Dench as M.
Judi Dench. I'm sorry. She's absolutely fucking awesome.
She is. This is her debut as M, by the way. She's awesome. How can you not like her in this role?
She's amazing.
Dinosaur.
She's the first M I ever met in the Daniel Craig movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she made her mark starting off in these.
Wow.
Oh, she did so. She's done so much before these. Like,
well, yeah.
I saw her in a movie recently. Funny enough, what's her name? Judi
Dench.
Dench.
What the fuck did I just see her? And you guys can keep talking while I try to figure this out.
Okay.
But well, she's so unreally good. And if you want to see how British she is, there's a legendary interview with her on Graham Norton, and Graham Norton was going, well, I was in heaven, and the heaven is like a gay club in London, and she was like, no, I was. Oh yes. I just like completely forgot that she went to this gay club with Graham Norton, and she's just like an absolute national treasure. She's like the female Stephen Fry, sort of.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, Judi Dench in the scene as M. It's her first to go around as M, and I just like the dynamic between them two, because this is kind of like their first time, at least these two characters, meeting her and James Bond. So she's the new person in charge. I particularly love the scene where she dressed James Bond down. First, she mentions that she knows that Bond doesn't like her, and then she hits him with that sexist, misogynist dinosaur line. She's great. The other thing I particularly like about this scene is that after she humbles him, she tells him that it's not his fault that 006 died, and she wants him to come back alive. So
Come
she
back
dresses
alive.
him down,
Just
and
try
then
not to die.
builds him back up, and then sends him out to save the world. I particularly love that.
I have that
Question-
written down.
Question for the Bond franchises. So obviously M is in the Daniel Craigs. Do all of the Bond movies that continue on from the Bonds, are they all connected in the sense of they're in the same universe? Or are there some movies that where it's like, oh, this has been the only James Bond? Or is it like always just been like an older Bond, then there's a new 007, new 007?
It's like
It's a
every
good
James
question.
Bond is the new James Bond.
The new 007, but like obviously this M transcends into the next franchise. But a bigger question, do all of the Bonds die at the end of their run on screen?
No, they change.
Okay.
It's kind of like Doctor Who. They just change. So like
Yeah, but they don't change on screen like Doctor Who.
they don't turn into like globbing, supernova.
I don't know if.
Okay,
here's the thing.
Here's the answer.
Yeah.
The James Bond films are generally considered to have two distinctive universes. One in composing the movies from Dr. No to No Time to Die, featuring Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and Pierce Brosnan, and another rebooted universe starring with Casino Royale featuring Daniel Craig.
I think it fucked up with that first sentence because I think they meant to say Dr. No to Die Another Day.
Yes, I read it wrong, actually. It does say Dr. No to Die Another Day.
Got it.
Okay.
So what that thing you just read, that's pretty much true.
It's
Yeah.
just continuing the character, but finding someone good enough to do that character. So all of the Bonds that we've had, so all like the Roger Moores, the Daltons, Lazenbys,
Lazenbys, that's how you say that. Okay.
Lazenby. Yeah.
It's a fucking horrible last name. They should have changed that.
Well,
Just change
well,
it.
he's an
Lazenbys. Yeah, right.
Here's the thing with that with the two universes we're gonna talk about here, though, because Daniel Craig's is kind of separate from everything because it's a reboot, and it's the only times where every James Bond film that Daniel Craig did, they're all connected, and they refer to the other films as they go on.
Spectra.
The James Bond films before Daniel Craig, you can watch them as standalones because they don't refer to other things that happened in other movies, except for, I think the one exception is which is a weird exception, but the character of Blofeld in the earlier movies, because that villain shows up multiple times in different James Bond movies for different actors.
That is the same character, though?
It's the same character, but different actors playing him.
Oh, interesting.
And I think their excuses, like he gets like a different facial reconstruction each time.
Very James
Bond-y
excuse.
Yeah, but the character of Blofeld, he shows up as the villain against Sean Connery's Bond and George Lazenby's Bond and Roger Moore's Bond.
Holy shit!
At different points, so it transcends different Bond actors.
That's kind of
Blofeld,
cool.
and Blofeld's character Blofeld's character will refer to their past interactions. But other than that character, they don't. The films aren't connected.
Wait a minute.
It's a weird circumstance.
Okay, so all right. So if Blofeld refers to their prior experiences, is he referring to prior James Bonds, or as in they are all the same James Bond in that universe?
They're all the same.
So they're
James
all the
Bond.
same, just different actors.
They're all the same, but different actors.
Yeah.
But even though it's been decades, they still have this same history which they can reach back to.
That is so interesting. I thought you guys had meant that the James Bond, like you know how like in the Daniel Craig's, there's a new 007 in the last movie, the girl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they.
Why are you laughing?
So they. I thought that you meant like that the James Bond, like 007, had either died or moved on to a different branch or whatever, and then there was a new 007. But throughout those same universe films, it's always no. That's not what I'm saying. So from Dr. No, and then up until whatever point where that, let's call it the last entry where that Brosnan character is in. Those are all the same people in that story. They're all the same 007.
It's all the same character. It's James Bond, yes.
Okay.
Having an adventure.
Okay. So I don't understand then. Why was
Well, you don't have to watch, what I'm saying is you don't have to watch Dr. No or Goldfinger to know what's going to happen in Goldeneye. It's not...
There's not enough.
So why is M in this universe and then connected to the Daniel Craig one as M as well?
They just decided to bring her back.
Okay.
Hollywood. She's so good, they were like, you want to come back for a reboot?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Interesting.
The same reason Pierce Brosnan was Bond for 5 films.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy.
They're not connected, but he's the same. Just keep the same.
So is Daniel Craig is the longest running Bond, though?
I mean, maybe in terms of years, but films, no.
Really? He had at least like 5 films, right?
Roger Moore had like 7, 20, I think.
He was 20 years, though.
Ooh. That's insane. But you said
Roger Moore did like 7 Bond films or something like that. Yeah.
It depends. It depends on how you're judging it. But I think Daniel Craig was. Wait, no, what was he? No, sorry. It's only been 18 years.
7 films, yeah.
But if you're going on longevity of how many films, Roger Moore.
Connery and Moore have played the character the most times, appearing in 7 films each. Connery and Roger Moore.
Oh, I thought Connery was 6. That's
wow.
Cool.
Okay, interesting.
All right.
You know who's played Wolverine? Well, I guess now 2, Henry Cavill. But
yeah, but that was a cameo.
It was so cool, though.
It was a real cameo, though.
I marked out like a little bitch when I saw him turn around with the cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
I just popped. I fucking...
All right.
Cavalrine, yeah.
The Cavalrine, yeah. That was a cool nickname. All right, you want to get into a scene that really... actually, now that I watched back, I'm like, this is chaos. This
as long
is
as there's
crazy.
Dancing Caesar Man in it, I'm ready.
Is this the tank scene? Please.
No, it's actually not the tank scene. This is the scene that it's introducing Desmond Llewellyn, who's returning as Q.
Oh yes.
This scene.
Yes.
If you actually analyze what's going on in the scene, you're going to be like, why would anybody ever work at MI6?
He's got his leg up, and he.
Who?
And he's got.
This is Q, the gadget guy.
Oh,
the old Welsh guy. He's Welsh. You can't tell from his accent.
Oh, the fucking fox from Batman.
No, this is Q.
Yeah,
but it's the same kind of character. Yeah, I actually think that like the Fox character in the Dark
Morgan Freeman,
Christopher Nolan trilogy. I think they were like, yeah, let's have our own Q.
Yeah,
and throw him in there.
Do you know
Makes
what?
sense.
I would 100% believe that.
It's basically the same guy.
Oh my god, he is so much fun watching him on screen.
Yeah, but Craig's gonna. I can't wait to talk about this because Craig does not know where I'm going with this. So the scenes where Q shows.
If you badmouth him, I will.
No, I'm not badmouthing him at all. I would never dare to do that. Not even remotely. Trust me.
Awesome.
This is okay. So the scenes where Q shows 007 as gadgets and toys are always fun. Bond walks in and Q is in his wheelchair with a cast on his leg, and he launches a rocket out of it, which explodes down the hall. But I'm sorry. Right off the bat, I'm sorry, Q. There's a dozen people over there in this facility, and you just shot a cruise missile out of your fucking shoe.
Not to mention running over cop cars in a fucking tank, not caring if they die or not.
We have disregard for, helping over here.
Well, I don't know. This movie does for sure. At least MI6 does. So he might want to be more careful about shooting rockets in this fucking room from now on. This will be a common theme, by the way. This scene. is just nuts. For now, Q shows off Bond's new BMW, which I believe this was the first time BMW started making their way into Pierce Brosnan's Bond films. I think it was like a three. Yeah, I think it was like a 3-movie contract for this, but I could be wrong.
A lot of sponsors in this film. So many blatant sponsors,
including the Parker pen.
Yep, the Omega watches. Sorry,
the
Brian.
pen was that too. Really?
Yeah, it's a Parker pen. Oh god. If you ever
I hope they didn't sell the one that explodes.
I got questions about that, and it could be something I missed, but we'll get there. Just don't let me forget.
Yes, yeah, I'll bring it up. Don't worry.
Okay.
But no, if you, there's been this running thing throughout British history, like British advertising history. If you buy a life insurance, so if you're old and so they're selling you life insurance, you'll get a free Parker pen. Now, a Parker pen is a high quality ballpoint pen.
It's the most British thing I've ever heard in my life.
That is exactly what he's twirling in his fingers.
That's too funny.
I know that sounds stupid as fuck, but it's a thing that actually exists. So
okay,
he's got the ballpoint pen, he's got the Parker pen going.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. So there's this is where so they got a BMW in here. We don't see it do much in this movie. A lot of the Pierce Brosnan films, they have the cars all with all the gadgets and everything, and they do use all their bag of tricks in pretty much every movie except this one. We never really see the BMW in action, but it's good. It's a good looking car though.
Yeah.
But am I the only one who prefers the Aston Martins?
Aston Martin
over the BMWs
fucking day, all day Aston Martins.
Someone want to bring up that Aston Martin at the start of the film where he's doing the like the chase scene with the Ferrari with Xenia in it. That Aston Martin.
That's the one from Goldfinger, right?
Fucking gorgeous.
That's like a dream car, bro.
I think it's the same car from Goldfinger.
Mercedes. Those are. It's like
it is so nice. And then you've got the BMW. Well, I think I've got fucking notes here. Excuse me, stutters. No, I can't say. No, it was the Aston Martin DB5, but he's got the BMW. I think it's the Z3 or something like that. But
yeah, I mean that BMW in the movie was a very good looking convertible. BMW,
it's absolutely beautiful.
I'm not too wild about that color, but that was a nice freaking car. I'll tell you.
Oh, I'm down for that. If someone said, "Do you want to have this car?" Yes.
Oh, I'd be like, "Oh yeah." There's no way I'd turn that down. Anyway, Q also introduces Bond to the grappling belt that he will use later in the archive escape scene.
Yeah,
so
it's completely matched to his weight, so it can only support him.
Yeah, as he is showing Bond this device, behind them is a telephone booth, which one of the this is where it gets it's Muppet-like. This is the most Muppet-like scene in the movie. So there's a telephone booth which one of the MI6 technicians goes into. He puts some some pence into the phone. Like that? I hope I said that right. Like a quarter, I would say. I was saying pence because it's in
like 10 pence. Well, you watch
or 10p. I don't know.
You watched Local Hero when he's saying I need tens. So
yes,
10 pence.
Okay.
Yep.
Damn it! I disappointed you. I'm fucking heartbroken. Oh, damn it! No, I hear Quinn laughing.
You're doing this proud. You're doing this proud, mate.
But so anyway, this MI6 technician goes into the fucking phone booth. He puts a fucking he puts a 10 in there, and a giant airbag inflates to a massive size, trapping him inside the phone booth. I'm sorry, dude. What the fuck is this for? Trapping pedophiles? I don't understand what this is going to be used for. The concept of this telephone booth just baffles me. Because in order to trap someone in it, first of all, you have to find a phone booth. Then you have to remove the phone booth and replace it with this gimmick phone booth. And then the person you want to trap inside it has to feel the need to make an urgent phone call in the middle of his busy day in 1995. And then by some miracle, he has to choose this exact phone booth and spring the pedo trap to inflate on his ass.
I'll tell you what it's for.
This would never work. This would never work.
I'll tell you what it's for.
What's it for?
The Russian Prime Minister's son, Alex Cross universe, and the James Bond universe is actually connected. They learned way back in 1995.
I did not see that coming.
Pointing at you. I revoke that. No.
That is why. The Russians learned, man.
Right, okay. Here's your answer, and it's going to be very disappointing. Goofy British humor. So the fact that they...
Is that all it is? That's an explanation. I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah, that's probably the best explanation.
What it is. The guy picks up the phone and then he's stuck to the wall of, and that is exactly what British telephones look like. Like on the high street, that's what they look like. The BT telephones. British telephones.
Do you guys have phone booths in the UK?
Not anymore. They
okay,
don't exist.
We don't either.
Yeah. Like you may find one in a really rundown.
If you
town.
see one, you're like, "Holy shit!" And then you start fucking with it.
It's like, it's more like an Instagram tourist.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Jane. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, "What the fuck is this for, man?" But Craig's explanation is perfect because that explains everything. I was trying.
I thought my explanation was perfect.
That was too. Two great explanations. Thank you. That's what I have you both here for.
I'll tell you what. I'll top it up with Hugh's explanation. Get your hands up that. That's my lunch. He's just got this massive baguette.
Well, we need to talk about some more things before we get to the fucking sandwich bit because this scene is fucking crazy. So where am I at in these fucking notes? Where we are? Okay, now let's get into what I believe to be the most memorable gadget in this movie, which of course is the exploding pen. Q demonstrates that in order to prime the pen, you have to click it 3 times. And then in order to disarm it, you click it another 3 times. So Bond grabs the pen and then clicks it 3 times, and then he messes with Q by asking how long the fuse was after he does click it 3 times.
You just answered my question.
I have found myself every single time watching this movie counting how many seconds it takes between Bond arming this pen and Q ripping it out of his hands to disarm it. And guess what, boys? It is just over 4 seconds. So both of them should be dead.
Yeah.
Both of them should be fucking dead, man.
Typically, you are Britney Spears. That is just so typically
it's
you.
Britney, bitch.
Whoops,
it's Britney,
you did
bitch.
It's toxic.
When he puts it, it's just so British. He goes, "Sorry about this, Fred." Clicks it 3 times, stuffs it in his
God! Yo, Fred is a test dummy, by the way. So he sticks the pen in his jacket and arms it. So he hits the thing 3 times. And yet again, there are dozens of people around. He just turned on a fucking grenade, and there's dozens of people. Dozens of people. And on top of that, Q is standing just 8 feet away from the dummy, and Bond is maybe, 12, 14 feet? It's a fucking grenade!
No, it's a class.
This is insane!
Grenade. And what you're not appreciating is this is Britain. We have no respect for health and safety.
You must not!
just
You must not. I would never want to work at MI6. MI6 must have a massive casualty list in the Q department because of reckless behavior and no regulations. They are just testing explosive devices in this room with no safety gear, and next to over a dozen people who work in this department.
100%.
And I almost forgot. As they walk over to Fred the dummy to fry him into 1,000 pieces, they pass the poor guy who is still stuck in the goddamn pedo catching machine, and you can even hear him trying to say something so someone can get him out of there.
You know what? I was so looking forward to talking about this film. That was not the fucking sentence I was expecting.
Dude, he's still sounds like a fish.
Like, he's like panicking when he's stuck in the fucking thing. He's like,
It's a freaking. I'll tell you what. If this movie is a glimpse into the life of MI6, you have a better chance of staying alive if you were a James fucking Bond than you do as a technician in Q-Break, because they have no precautions, no brains, and no fucks to give. They're not worried about anybody's safety whatsoever.
I think I would just be afraid to pick up a fucking pen.
Yeah.
Well, in this film, you should do.
You'd be afraid to pick up anything.
I know it sounds dumb, and I know we've gone over it, but when he just grabs that sandwich, that baguette back off him, take your hands up, like this old Welsh guy. Take your hands off that Bond. That's my lunch.
That's the best joke in the movie.
It's so fucking.
I think it's the best joke in the movie.
I like the Bond one-liners, like after when he's getting ready to kill someone or he gets one over on someone. There's one, I want to say it was in the sauna scene, when he's fighting the sexy Georgian chick. But what does he say to her?
No.
No, I'll figure it out. But yeah, his one-liners get me the best, bro. I'm like, I'll be dying on my couch laughing.
That depends on your definition of safe sex.
That's it. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one I like.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. I like it. No more foreplay.
No more. Yes, that. There's that, and then there's the scene at the end of the movie that had me crying laughing with the bushes. Is all I'll say. It was such a simple joke, but the bushes got me.
You two have pulled me up the coals for this, but he looks very suave. Like he's got the hair.
Who, Bond?
When he just goes.
Yeah, he's sexy as fuck, bro.
No.
Bond, dude. Pierce Brosnan is a gorgeous.
Pierce Brosnan
man.
is handsome.
He's handsome.
He's a very handsome man.
He's very handsome. Here, I'll do it for you guys.
I'm Bond and I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline.
If I had to be gay, it would be with Pierce Brosnan.
There you go.
There you
go. I'll let you tell Queen Boomer.
Mine would be Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
Brian is not going to be fucking happy with that.
I'm just kidding.
You took us both out.
I took you both out. Did you miss that, Craig?
You just pissed Brian off and pissed me off. That is a fucking way.
You want to make Craig mad? Tell him he's getting sandwiched by Will Ferrell and The Rock.
Will Ferrell and The Rock.
I fucking love The Rock. I am a wrestling child. I grew up wrestling.
I don't even follow wrestling, but there's a bunch of drama going around my TikTok feed with this Cody guy and someone else.
Cody Rhodes?
Probably.
And John Cena. John Cena's evil now. Evil John Cena. I love it. I love it.
John Cena!
I was thinking, just to get off topic for a second here, just for 30 seconds. I don't want to derail this anymore. But with John, I was not interested at all in the upcoming wrestling stuff. And then I found out John Cena turned into a bad guy. And I went, what? And I scrambled. I was like, I gotta see this.
Do you
And
guys?
it's good. I've liked it so far.
Did you guys ever see his apology video to? I think it was.
In Mandarin.
Yeah. Oh, bro,
that was weird.
When he said Taiwan was.
If you're gonna apologize for something, he did the right way to do it. You see, like all those apology videos out there. He fucking learned Mandarin to apologize. That's sick.
No,
he's been learning Mandarin for years before that, dude.
Be a bigger show in China.
Yeah.
But he said Taiwan.
All he did was acknowledge the existence of Taiwan.
Gotcha.
But then he had to redact it so they didn't lose money in China.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because China thinks Taiwan is a Chinese sovereignty.
Gotcha.
So
they basically don't acknowledge Taiwan's right to exist.
Interesting. Okay.
But he did it in Mandarin.
Yeah, it's not because he was like, oh, I feel like I insulted the Chinese people. He's scared shitless of the Chinese Communist government for acknowledging a country that the Chinese Communist government wishes they had control of.
Fair.
So it was real weird.
You'll appreciate the comment I just set in for that.
Yeah, I'm replying.
Let me say. Oh no! I did the one that Craig threw it there.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. You ready?
All right, let's do it. Sorry for the fans.
Please don't say Mexico.
Can't give anything up. Yep.
There
Facts.
you go.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah.
I hope that's a good one.
That's good. That hits.
You know what? That's the one that actually
hits really well.
Resonates and doesn't. I don't feel like there's a joke there. That's the one that sort of feels. Yeah.
No, it's accurate. I mean, all of these are pretty accurate with everything.
Yeah, they've all got some
happening
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue here, and maybe we'll wrap this. How many more? There's only 2 more major notes that I have here, so we'll start with the first one here, which I would love to talk about. This is Robbie Coltrane as Valentin Dmitrovich Zukovsky. I fucking love this character. I love this character. This is why this film is goated as a James Bond movie. Every single character in this movie is fucking great with amazing performances from every actor in it. You can't maybe if there's anybody in this panel here between you two who can think of a bad performance from an actor in this, I'd love to hear it because I don't think it exists.
There's just characters that should have died when certain things happened that didn't die, but never mind.
Right, but that has nothing to do with their performance. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think I have a problem with anyone's performance. Even the guy who was fucked to death had a great performance.
I am bringing another Melter level rating directly for you, Brian.
What, just for Robbie Coltrane as Valentin?
No, for this film. Just for this film.
So are you telling me that you're revealing your rating for the film already?
I'm
I didn't know we were going there. I was still going to talk about Robbie Coltrane.
No, I am, but I will subject you to a rating because, like me, you are a child who.
Oh, fucking Hagrid!
He is, yeah,
he's Hagrid.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Harry Potter. You didn't know
Is
that?
this the first time you clicked?
No, I didn't recognize the name. I haven't seen too many films with him in it besides, honestly, Harry Potter. Truthfully, I definitely.
He's much more prevalent in. To be fair, though, he's much more prevalent in British media. Or he was. Rest in peace.
I'm looking at his movies right now. The only one I recognize is Harry Potter.
Played by So this is.
He was before Harry Potter. He was beloved. This guy.
R.I.P.
Treasure.
Yeah. So Jack Wade takes Bond over to Zukovsky's hideout in St. Petersburg, and we are introduced to Valentin Dmitrovich Zukovsky, played by the Scottish legend.
Say that again.
Valentin Dmitrovich Zukovsky.
Stop! I'm gonna come.
Thank you.
Do it again.
It's like that. it's like with who's that guy from Inglourious Basterds? The character. Oh, Dominic the Coco.
Dominic the Coco.
Dominic the Coco. Valentin Dmitrovich Sukovsky.
Great movie.
So anyway, he's played by the Scottish legend himself, Robbie Coltrane.
You know he's Scottish. Oh man, dude, you are.
He looks Scottish. If Scottish has a look, I feel like he has the look.
I don't know. When I think Scottish, I think of Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
If you want to think a Scottish person, who's a Scottish? Kevin Bridges, right?
Okay,
that's what a Scottish.
Actually, I think of Peter Capaldi now. Malcolm Tucker.
Oh yeah,
he's so awesome.
When I think of a Scottish person, I think Mel Gibson.
Oh no! Oh, we lobbed that up for him too. That's we should have seen that coming. We should have seen that coming.
Do you know what? I always look forward to those, but I am actually annoyed with you.
I bet you are.
Yeah. Fucking. Anyway, this is my favorite character in the film. Probably they show Zukovsky coming up the stairs of his bar / hideout, and one of the showgirls is passing him, and he fixes her dress. The girl is Minnie Driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I didn't mention that before.
I actually didn't know it was Minnie Driver until years later. I just thought it was some girl they found to do that little role. But,
do you know what? I bet she can actually sing, and I bet they just made her sing. Like
she's in a lot. Was she was in Good Will Hunting. She's Marky Mark's.
That is one of my favorite
beautiful
films
emotional
ever.
scene. She's also in a show where she has a son. It's a really good show. It might be actually a British show. I'm not 100% sure. She has like a son, and then there's like this guy figure that comes in. It's like a nice little sitcom.
Yeah, she's that's probably what she's most famous for, I would guess.
Does anyone think her?
All I can tell you is Good Will Hunting is one of my favorite films ever.
Yeah, it's a perfect 10.
I was in a really bad place when I first watched that, and I bawled my fucking eyes out.
It's right up there with like Shawshank Redemption for me.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies.
I fucking love Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. Except for that horrible actor with the freckles. What's his name? No, I'm kidding. Kidding. I love Morgan.
Be careful. I know where you live.
Love Morgan Freeman, just not as Alex Cross.
Oh. I was about to drive over there.
Insane.
Yeah. So yeah, that girl is Minnie Driver. But yeah, she's probably most famous for Good Will Hunting, I would say.
Yeah.
Very talented, has been around the acting block. So to have her as a one scene character again, it just speaks to how great this cast is for this particular film, man. It was one of the best casted James Bond movies ever. Anyway, Zukovsky mutters how the free market economy is going to be the end of him. I love that line. Because it's implying that this is a Russian who hates capitalism but is trying to make it work to his own benefit. This like kind of gangster role he's in. Little subtleties like that. It's to remind the audience of that the Soviet at this point in time, 1905, the Soviet Union is only it has just collapsed, and Russia's going through the aftermath of it right now. Valentin gets to the top of the stairs, and James Bond pops out and puts a gun to his head. He was hiding behind the wall or curtain, and then Valentin says, as it's in Craig's title here, Walther PPK, only 3 men I know use such a gun. I believe I've killed 2 of them. And I love that just from the sound of the gun. He can see he can't see Bond or the gun, but just from the sound of it, he knows when it's cocked. He knows it's a Walther, and then he brags about it. He killed 2 of the 3 men he knows that used the fucking gun.
So
Zukovsky just instantly. Zukovsky is like the coolest fucking guy in the whole movie. So Zukovsky still has a pistol drawn to his head by James Bond, and only Robbie Coltrane could pull this off. Bond says, "Lucky me," and then one of Zukowski's goons pulls a gun on Bond, and Zukowski says, "I think not." Minnie Driver is now singing terribly on stage. Bond gets thrown on a couch, and we learn that Zukowski and Bond's backstory, which was also told by Jack Wade earlier. Bond was on a job, shot Zukowski in the knee, and then took his girl.
I got a Bond shit.
If you ever needed a short description of James Bond, there it is.
Yeah,
and he said it was a professional courtesy, but he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
So he took he shot him in the knee, took his girl. Professional courtesy.
I'm actually surprised with that backstory that we were told. I'm actually surprised Zukowski ended up letting James Bond breathe any more air.
Yeah,
because I would have been like, especially since he's like a Russian. First of all, he's an ex KGB, and now he's like basically a Russian mob boss. So why would he let this guy live for longer than a second? That was the only unrealistic part of me. But we have a movie to get through.
I'll tell you why he wanted to savor that moment, just to combat on good old Hagrid's side. But he was like, I have felt this pain, or Scottish, so I'm not going to even attempt that. He's like,
he's Russian.
Okay, cool. I have felt this pain for many days. Every single day I feel this pain. And now I have you here. I'm going to take my time killing you. I'm going to fuck you in the asshole with Hagrid's wizard cock. And I'm going to make you feel the pain that I feel. I'm going to give my third knee inside of you. That is, he probably wanted to make him suffer. Maybe not by that means, but I think that he wanted to take his time for the pain that he's felt every day throughout the years.
Well, that is so much better than you trying to do a Scottish accent, considering Hagrid is from Devon.
Well, I was talking about the actor, like the actor's Scottish accent.
Yeah, but
you mean the character?
No, the actor is from Scotland, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Robbie the Coltrane. He's a Scottish actor. Hogwarts is in Scotland, but Hagrid is playing Devon. So he's like as far south as you can get.
I thought Hagrid was from Diagon Alley.
Yeah, Harry, you're a wizard.
Yeah, that was good, actually. Focus up.
Focus. Yes.
Just focus. Typically works for me.
He's a pirate.
I bet it works for you.
All right, so
at least I know what to do when you invite me around.
So Zukowski ends up trying to shoot Bond's knee to pay him off for all those years before Bond talks him out of it. So we then move to Valentin's office, where Bond is trying to get information about the head of the Villainous crime syndicate, who is apparently a Lien's Cossack. This was actually a piece of historical information that I wasn't aware of until I finally looked it up many years after I first initially watched this movie. It's a pretty interesting nugget of history there.
I've heard the name Cossack, but I never knew it was that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's. I think if you look it up, it's called like the Betrayal of Lien's or something. But what Valentin's like brief description of it is actually pretty accurate about what happened there. But beside that point, I think that backstory was actually a very interesting backstory for our villain, who is yet to be revealed so far in this film. That would make the villain, if you work it out, because the film was made in 1995, the villain in the film would have to be at least 50 years old.
Which would make James Bond, so he'd have to be like at least 48 or something.
Yeah, I mean, we could suspect with James Bond. But as far as this guy, he has to be at least 50. Which brings us to a transition here where we introduce the main villain of the film, and that is Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan. 006. Scene Bean. That is correct.
That is actually what we call him in the UK, Scene Bean.
Scene Bean, he's the man. Now, if you want to talk about a great Bond villain, this is the Bond villain right here, at least for me. Sean Bean plays Alec Trevelyan, who in the beginning of the film is Bond's partner on a mission. He appears to get
For
blown
England,
away
James.
by.
For England,
Yeah,
Alec.
yeah. He appears to get blown away by Urumov, but it was a ruse. He comes back mid-film as the head of the Yanis crime syndicate, and that is causing all types of chaos in Russia and around the world. He now has major burn scars across the right side of his face that he blames Bond for when Bond switched the explosive timers.
I thought
from
they were
6 minutes to 3 minutes in the opening scene of the movie. Go
I
ahead.
thought they were syphilis scars.
They did look like
Is that what
syphilis,
they
yeah,
were?
didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it could be because you know what those Russian girls be like. You're just going on.
Just all riddled with syphilis, I guess.
It could also be because he's very aggressive in his affections, as we found out in the
Oh
trailer.
yeah,
That is
they
true.
taste like strawberries.
And he's also been banging what's her name, so she probably is the one that.
Oh god. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I bet she's riddled.
She's that's a syphilis riddler.
Dude, and this is here's the thing about this Bond villain. This is the one Bond villain in all the movies I have seen where you can watch this and go, dude, Bond might have met his match here. This character is essentially James Bond, but evil. He has all the same skill sets. He has all the same knowledge as 007. He even has the good looks and the charm. But he's also deranged and out for a fuck ton of revenge here.
Oh yeah,
because of his backstory.
And he's 006.
And he's what?
006.
Yes, he is. There's and Sean Bean is the perfect choice for this character. He does an amazing job.
facts. One of his few roles where I feel like they. No, I mean honestly, he's great in every fucking film he's in. But it was nice to see him as 006. I would never expect him to be in a Bond movie, and he fucking killed it in this. Very, very unexpected to see him in here, and I loved it.
From a lad from the north, because I know you won't know this, but Sean Bean, he's from Sheffield, which is about an hour and a half drive down south. But it's a northern area.
Doesn't he have like a Yorkshire accent in real life?
Sheffield is part of North Yorkshire, and he is when he wants to, when he unleashes it. There's one interview with Stephen Colbert where he just unleashes it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I can't go down." Go to man's, go fucking fucking tea.
Is he drunk?
Yeah. No. No.
Is that like the accent?
Yeah, that's kind of what the accent's like. I can't go down. Go to man's.
It's like me blacked out.
Can't go down. Go to man's. Go up. Get some tea. See me, man. That's what we're going to do. And then maybe I'll take you up to the top. That's what the accent is like.
Interesting.
And he's got that, but he dropped it, and he became a really good actor. Good. So it is so cool watching that.
I can't imagine him getting many roles if his accent.
Have you seen him? You've seen him in Game of Thrones, right?
Oh, fuck
as Ned Stark.
Oh,
I think that's that his accent, his northern accent in that show is probably closer to what his real accent is.
Okay, sick.
I would say
that's close. That's more closer to. That is so much more closer to what this is.
Okay.
Ned Stark is so much more closer to Sheffield.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, lad, going up top. All right, see you there.
Yeah. There's several action sequences in this film that are great and worth remembering. But I have to say, I think my favorite action sequence in the entire movie is the fight between James Bond and Alec Trevelyan.
Facts.
Specifically the fist fight.
Mine was in the sauna, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's understandable. That's dude, I can't blame you at all, dude.
And when he hits it, he's like, "Excuse me, I was getting squeezed
Yeah.
I thought he was inside of her that entire fight. I'm not joking. But go ahead, Brian. Let's talk about a real fight.
Max, the other guy with a bucket.
Right. But yeah, the fight is pretty fucking. This fight between 007 and 006 is pretty brutal too.
Yeah.
Nothing too ridiculous except for maybe when James Bond tries to throw a chain at 006 and it hits the wall. Do you remember that part? He just
Ghost
grabs
Rider,
the
yep.
chain and then it's just I thought that was kind of goofy, but that was the only bit. It was just a split second. But the fight really conveys the fact that both of these men know each other's fighting styles very well because they have the same fighting style. They were trained to kill by the same people. The winner of this fight is going to be the one who applies their training better than the other. And as it turns out, 006 wins the fight initially. He might not have won it outright. Neither of them knock each other out. The fight is won when Trevelyan grabs the gun from off the floor. Of course, he pauses to let Bond escape through the trapdoor. But
Hollywood.
Hey, it's James Bond, you know. But I say 006 is the winner of that exchange. So Bond almost gets his arm ripped out of his socket going down this ladder. 006 calls a helicopter to pick him up once he gets rid of Bond, which in turn is hijacked by Natalia. But the fight between 007 and 006 continues on this ladder. 006 once again gets the better of him in these exchanges. However, when the helicopter shows up and Natalia takes it over, it distracts 006 and Bond manages to get a headbutt in. This knocks 006 over the edge, but Bond grabs it by the foot. 006 then says, "Here, go ahead."
Simba. Oh, sorry.
No, that's Mufasa and
Scar.
and Scar. Yeah.
Do it, Craig. Say it.
For England, James. No. For me.
And then lets him go. He lets Trevelyan
He
go.
lives. He drops.
Yes! He falls 1,000 feet to the bottom of this thing.
3,000 fucking feet and lands on his
He's
back.
006. Of course he lives.
Slams into the ground. Guess what? He's still alive.
Practically Jason Bourne.
I think even when I saw this all these years ago as a kid, and he landed down there and fucking survived, I was like, fuck off. There's no way he survives that.
I mean, his legs were mangled. Like, he wasn't living for long.
Yeah, his legs were fucking...
I mean, granted, there is a story of a woman falling. Her parachute never opened on a skydive, and she fell like thousands of feet and lived. But,
no way.
She was
she fell on an ant pile and a fire ant pile, and all of the ants bit her, causing adrenaline to rush through her system, causing her to live long enough to get her to a hospital.
Yeah, she fell in the Amazon, and she went down. She found a river, and her dad told her, always go down river, because that is where you'll find humanity.
We're thinking of two different stories, brother.
Yeah,
completely. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about the lady. She was skydiving. She fell into a massive ant pile, a fire ant pile. They all bit her, giving her adrenaline that caused her to live long enough to be rushed to a hospital. Look it up. It's insane.
Oh shit! I'm talking about a woman who got sucked out of an aircraft at 93,000 feet, or sorry, 39,000 feet.
Yeah,
and she was still strapped into a chair. Landed, she hit all the trees on all the branches on the way down. But woke up, and for 10 days she was just trying to survive. But her parents were biologists, so they said, "All right, go downstream." And so she went downstream, and
I'm listening.
I'm just waiting. So she went downstream, and she met up with a couple of guys who had a boat, and she was rescued, and she's like written a book.
That's insane.
And
She flew
like, from
2 miles. 2 miles.
Damn.
But so maybe Sean, Sabine survived. You know, it's not totally implausible. And he is 006 after
no,
all.
fuck off. There's no way anybody survives that.
Blocks.
He did not survive that. He got that guy, when he hit the bottom of that dish, he turned into dust.
Yeah, it should have looked like a vineyard grape stomp.
It should have looked like one of those people who got vaporized by the fucking machines in War of the Worlds.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Army of Darkness.
That too.
No, there's no way he fucking survived that.
Yeah.
But they had to do that so they could have the big drop.
So Michael Bay could have the big drop.
Dude,
yeah.
Trevelyan might have the most painful death in James Bond franchise history. This man falls 1,000 feet to the ground, manages to stay alive, but you know that every bone in his body is broken. He's internally bleeding, coughing up blood. Then the dish explodes, and the pointiest end of the fucking thing comes falling down right on top of 006's face.
Yeah.
And he screams the whole time it's coming down on him.
It's nuts.
I'll give you
as if the broken body wasn't enough. They drop an entire satellite dish the size of a football field on top of his fucking face.
I'll give you an almost worse death in James Bond franchise. Slowly getting eaten alive by crabs. Almost went into the movie.
Wasn't that
Dr. No?
What they were intending for her. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That would have fucking sucked.
There's
I thought it was the rock and roller reference, to be honest.
Oh, the Dr. No. But that didn't make it, so I think you're right on the money with the Sean Bean.
This is a franchise though where the over. See, here's the thing. In James Bond, you expect the over the top deaths. Like they're common. They're not. This is one of those where the writer said, "You know what? He's a great villain. In fact, he's so great. Let's kill this prick twice. First, let's kill him with gravity. Second, let's drop the fat bastard of satellite dishes on top of this asshole and smash his face in." This death was like, dude, they killed him twice. It's fucking nuts. But yeah, that's Sean Bean as 006 was fucking phenomenal.
He's fucking
so good.
Great.
Every casting decision in this movie is goated, man. I fucking love every character in this movie.
It felt like a Nolan movie from the casting.
What you got, Quentin? I'm curious. What did you make of Pierce Brosnan as James Bond?
I thought he was fantastic. I mean, so far I've only seen Daniel Craig, Sean Connery, and Brosnan, but I loved all three of them individually. I haven't seen a bad Bond yet, so that's for damn sure. If you want me to just shoot a little, if you want me to shoot a number out for the review, I could do that.
Yeah, go for it,
please. Yes,
I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I think a lot of that though has to do to my own distraction. I just shit going on in the real world, and honestly, I think the fast-pacedness of the movie made it so hard for me to focus. Like with just trying to sit down, I felt like if I really wanted to enjoy the most out of this movie, I had to keep my eyes glued to the screen 24/7 throughout the entirety of it. The movie felt a little bit fast for me, but the cast surely makes up for that for their stellar performances. I think the storyline was great. You can't have a great movie without a phenomenal villain. The villain was fucking A1. You don't expect him to come back after seeing him get shot and crushed by a million fucking... Yeah, even though they're filled with gas, those big metal containers are heavy. I did not expect him to come back. So pleasant surprise when a movie can kind of catch you off guard. God knows that doesn't happen too many times nowadays. Typically when you're watching a movie, you're like, I can call this out. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Not in this movie. It was really cool. The female casting was extraordinary.
Fucking awesome.
Fucking amazing.
Not only were they gorgeous, they were smart, they were witty, they were badass. They gave us strong female characters. No movies do that nowadays. Or if
Here's
they
the
try
thing:
to do
it was believable. It was believable. That's the key thing here. Like I believed it. That's what's important to me.
Correct. They don't. They'll try. They'll try to make movies with strong female antagonists, protagonists, whatever. But they do horribly. Yeah, I thought the movie was really, really good. I'm going to give it another watch at some point this week. So my review could potentially change. My Muppet Reader isn't crazy, but I'm going to give it an 8 on the Muppet Reader. I'm going to match that. I think that there was some fucking goofiness in this movie, but that's to be expected with any Bond films. Definitely some fucking goofiness. James Bond jumping off of a cliff, just to somehow fucking get into the plane to then fly it to safety was like, all right, man, this is
as fuck.
It's cool as fuck. There's no denying that, but the practicality, I'd love to see someone try to recreate that in real fucking life.
Dudes, they did. That was a real stunt.
The tank scene, as cool as it was, someone fucking fuck you, Elon Musk. Fuck you. Not fuck you, Elon. I think you're pretty cool, but anyway, the tank scene, for some reason, as cool as it was, screamed Michael Bay the entire time for me. I hate to say that again, but I swear to God, that tank scene, I was just like, all right, I'm like looking at my non-existent watch on my wrist.
I was going to ask you what you thought of
I didn't like
scene.
it. I thought I was watching Fast and the Furious meets Michael Bay, and I was like, oh, it's cool. And then you have James Bond just running over fucking cops. And I give them credit for showing that the cop escaped, but James Bond didn't flinch by running over a fucking cop. He's not malicious, heartless. I mean, he is pretty heartless.
Love that.
I'm going to give the movie a 7. I'm switching my score. I think I'm going to give it a 7.
He dropped it.
Yeah.
He dropped it.
I just, Dr. No to me was but then honey. We're going to meet at the middle, 7.5. 7.5, that's my final score until I rewatch it this week, and I'll give you guys a small update next week.
I thought you would genuinely love it from that tank scene. I thought you are going to fucking love this.
Did not. That's
surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't for me. Then again, I don't like the Fast and Furious franchise
and then,
either.
Craig, you pressed him about it, and then he dropped his score. So I'm blaming you for making him drop his score.
No, and I
actually think I don't know what was going on, because you said again like you were distracted.
Yeah, there was just a lot going on last night. Like we had a plumber. We had a plumber coming in the next day, so I was trying to fit the movie in. We had to bump the podcast up a day early. I'm taking my wife to Disney. Whole shake. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week. But I am going to give this a really fair shake, and I'm going to rewatch it when I have some time this week, and I'll give everyone an updated score whenever we do the next podcast in a super small little thing. But unfortunately, I think I'm going to realize some bigger flaws that might distract me a little too much. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, man.
Because I was thinking, maybe the score that you gave might have reflected that you had stuff going on that kind of pulled you away from it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that, and then the train scene too. It was like full speed, charge through that fucking tank that just smashed down 800 walls. Let's just smash through this fucking tank at full speed. Or here's a better idea: slam the fucking brakes instead of going in kamikaze in that shit, man. I don't know, just an idea. I maybe get his point, but not really. Like, fucking pull the brakes.
I don't know. I mean, we could argue about that because that's not. Trains don't really. You can't just pull the brakes.
And it doesn't just stop. It slows down
in 5 seconds.
It'll slow down.
Yeah, but he's pulling the brakes like you got to pull the brakes from far fucking away.
The tank that is filled with missiles.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I am really shocked that is the response that you've got to this film.
I don't know. I mean, granted, I'm going to give it another watch because, I mean, yeah. I wasn't,
Well, Craig's just mad at you didn't give it a 10.
No.
You put Robert Eggers in front of me, I'll give it a 10.
I'm giving it a 9.
Okay.
It
But,
definitely
I mean,
wasn't my favorite Bond film. I will say that. I know that for a
honestly,
fact. It's not my favorite Bond film.
I honestly thought you would love it.
I like it. Let me. I don't want to let you down, so let me give it a proper shake this week. But I'm pretty sure my score will be the same. I still love you, Craig. Still love
I'm
you.
just glad I'm willing to accept that. I'm just glad it was not a 6 or less.
Nah.
If it
Oh,
was,
God,
I was literally going to
no.
end this.
You guys
That
probably
would-
would.
this would-
Yeah.
this
You
would
guys
be
probably wouldn't see me
fucking
next week.
ugly.
This is. I mean,
ooh.
there's going to
I
be
have-
a time where Quentin actually I have a high rating on a film and Quentin has a low one, and I will be like, all right, well, I'm just going to have to accept that. Not on this one. Not on this one.
I will
So-
say
No,
something
if-
I
if me and
really
you-
enjoyed.
If me and you have got a high score and he has got a low score,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
I mean, it's still a
fucking
high
ugly.
score.
No, and the initial score you gave was an 8. I was like,
Yeah. But
So-
I don't want to say that confidently yet, so I'm gonna drop it to the 7 for now. But the romance in this movie, the sex was a little overbearing at times. I'm not necessarily complaining about it, but I really enjoyed the romance between Bond and Elizabeth when they are sitting on the,
Isabella Scorupco.
yeah, but isn't
Isabella.
Isabella? Sorry,
Her character's name is Natalia.
yeah. No, Natalia's the psycho, right? No, Natalia. I'm
No.
sorry.
No,
Sorry.
She's
It's getting late. My brain's starting to go a little bit. But there's a specific beach scene with James Bond that I really enjoyed. In James Bond's films, you don't really get to see an emotional side of Bond, and even just to see a little sliver of it in this moment where she approaches him on the beach, and she's talking to him, and she's like, "You're going to be alone forever," or however she says it. I remember that scene being particularly nice. Even though Bond's going to be smashing some sexy other chick in the very next day, I still like to see the human side of Bond, because the way that his character is portrayed, and will always be portrayed if I'd have my way, is he's a man on a mission. He fucks. He's a man on a mission. He kicks ass. But when you do get that rare glimpse into the emotional side of Bond, it's a huge chance for just a little bit of character development to where you could feel more attached to that character. And I always appreciate how they limit that with Bond. And it makes me definitely appreciate the moments where we get to know him a little bit more, at least that specific version of Bond. So I loved this Bond. I still have yet to see a bad one. I think that this is a better Bond than Sean Connery. But Daniel Craig for me still reigns because that's what I grew up with. But yeah.
That's interesting you mentioned that, because that scene in particular where you said it gives us like a glimpse into his thought
tiniest
process.
glimpse.
The one criticism that and I kind of understand it, even though I love Daniel Craig as James Bond as well. But the one criticism that a lot of people who don't like the Daniel Craig
that's
Bonds
emotional
is that it throws too much of that in there.
Yeah.
Too much emotional stuff.
Maybe that's why I like
Which you
it
can
so
make
much,
a case
though.
for, but yeah, I actually thought it made I was liking that aspect of it, but
I loved it. And
there's a
then
lot
when
of
you find
people
out he has a
who,
daughter. Oh, that was really cool, even though that wasn't my favorite film.
I would rather, and this is just me personally, I would rather they stopped the Daniel Craig Bonds after Spectre.
Agreed.
But Spectre,
100%.
once No Time to Die, I couldn't
Rami Malek
stand it.
He's such a cool fucking villain, and they gave him it felt like 2 minutes of screen
What
time.
is that? What is this gang sign you're giving me? Or are you giving me flippers?
Yeah, well,
West Coast.
gang sign
Oh.
agreement.
I was like, what is this?
I agree. It's West Side.
It's the crabs that ate honey.
Really? I thought you were doing the fucking Welcome to Vulcan or whatever the fuck that is.
But the
Wu-Tang Clan ain't no.
yeah, Rami Malek though, he didn't get. He's such a great actor, and I felt like they could have done so much
He's
more.
not bad. It's just the fucking. I don't know.
They didn't make him into a great villain. They did not make him into a great villain.
Just he's got not good. That's the issue.
Yeah, Christopher Waltz is as a Bond villain. I mean, he's just one of those actors where if he plays a villain, it's going to be fucking amazing.
Christoph Waltz is an absolute fucking
Glorious Bastards. We got Bond, Django.
One in a lifetime.
Yeah,
actors. He can just do it.
Yeah.
But that's
Craig,
my
what's your,
ratings.
Craig, so your score is a 9. I think you already said it, right?
Well, it's a Bond film.
No, just get.
No, just give us a movie rating, man.
Fuck
As a Van Helsing film, I give it a 10. As a movie, I give it a 1.
11. This is the best Bond film. You two children.
We're
Stop.
taking the piss out of you, bro.
I know you are, and that is why I'm telling you off like the bad
To steal
little
your
boys
turn.
you are.
We need a little schmack.
As a Bond film, this is 11 out of 10. This is exactly what James Bond should be.
That I can agree on.
Okay.
This is exactly what I want a James Bond film to be. It isn't my favorite franchise ever, so I will give it a strong 9 out of 10. I love this film so much. It's not my favorite because then where do I put Terminator 2? Where do I put Lord of the Rings? I've got nowhere to go. As a Bond film, this blows it out the park. This film is freaking fantastic. I couldn't wait to talk to you two about this film. It was so much fun.
What would you give what's your Muppet rating?
Muppet. Do you know what? Not that strong.
Okay.
It's not that strong for this film.
Give me a number.
Give me a number.
You gotta give me a number for the Muppet rating here.
Give it to him. Do it, Johnny. You gotta do it.
You gotta do it for the Italians.
Do it for Adrian.
I'm not gonna lie. I heard Captain Quintano talk. I heard him talk about dropping his rating to a 7.
I
said, look at what he did to my
What
boy.
a piece of shit. How the fuck do you keep seeing these people like they're your friends? They're not your
What's your number though for the Muppet rating, Craig?
Yeah, it's a
Sorry,
I'll
got a
give
little
it
carried
5.
away there.
I don't actually think it's got a high Muppet rating.
5? Okay.
Genuinely,
I can be okay with that.
I know. Right, sorry, I know you might disagree, but I don't. Right. So, Quentin,
What are you tapping over there?
Nothing.
The
Like,
microphone
actually.
keeps going. Okay. I think your knee was hitting the table or something. That might have been what it was.
yeah.
That's what we're calling it, my knee.
Oh, that was perfect. All right, so yeah, Muppet rating of 5. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. This is my favorite Bond movie of them all.
Best Bond movie.
But I'm going to probably shock Craig here. I'm not giving it a 10. I'm giving it a 9. And like you said, a strong
That's
9.
what I gave it.
But as someone who this is my favorite franchise, the James Bond franchise, and I'm not giving it 10. I'm actually shocking myself in that, and I think it's because yeah, it is. I went into this going like, oh well, this is just a 10, no brainer for me. But then as we watched it, I found myself, like you noticed when I started reading off some of the notes, I was nitpicking certain things. And then I think it was the fucking scene with. I think it was a combination. I think it was the combination between the stuff that's glaring in the opening scene and the stuff that where I was like, "This is madness" from the Q branch scene, where I was like, "I have to drop this 1 point to a 9."
Fair.
Because I was like,
I actually thought it was
a 10 doesn't have this kind of shit in it. But other than that, it's a very high rating.
Your man. Like, just
Oh,
completely out
no,
of tune.
that was I got that because they were trying to convey that Valentin has a bad singer as
Tone deaf.
a stage girlfriend. Yeah, but anyway, I love the thing that if I would bump it back up to a 10, the main reason is the cast. The
Yeah.
cast is fucking utterly perfect.
I think that's why I gave it such a high
Tell
rating.
me one person that you would change on this, and
None.
you would change them to.
None. I wouldn't change any of the
Exactly.
actors, and none of them. I think the other thing that might have brought it down for a 9 for me, to do another negative here, is again the there's parts of the sound of the score, the musical score, where I'm like, that doesn't. If it sounds like an '80s porn film instead of a James Bond movie,
I mean,
and
that's what it was.
It is an
and it's not the
80s
whole
film.
score. I don't
Yeah.
want to shit on the entire score, but there's some parts where I'm like,
That's what 80s
what were they
porn films
thinking?
are. Just poorly produced Russian productions, and
This
then you
is-
get them 5 years later.
This is an 80s porn film with good acting.
But the
That is
one of the
worst
other things I
description.
really like is the story. I love the backstories, like how 006. Like first they start off with the opening scene. It's still the Soviet Union, and then 006 gets killed, and then it's 9 years later, and it turns out that he was a Lienz Cossack, and he was out for revenge, so he fakes his death and tries to get revenge on the UK, and he has to go up against the guy who is everything he is except he's not evil in James Bond. It's just that whole the whole dynamic of that story I just absolutely love and adore, and it's one of the better Bond stories. I think it also raises the stakes more and
Sure.
makes the when you're watching it,
also
you're more,
wraps
I think
up-
it makes you more invested in like how the ending's going to turn out. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's just, and the action scenes are fantastic. I really like the tank scene. I don't know what Quentin's smoking.
Michael Bay.
He thought it was a Michael Bay
I can't
scene.
believe that from you.
I also, you know what the thing about that scene that I
Weird.
really like is how more unhinged Oromov is getting as the scene goes on. He's like, he starts
He is
drinking
psycho.
out of his thing.
Oh, that I did find funny as fuck. Is every chance he got, he was like, "I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die."
He just betrayed his
He's
country for
he's taking
millions
a
of
hit.
dollars.
As he's bleeding from his lip.
Yeah.
Dude,
That guy's awesome.
we are gonna have to have a serious talk.
Who? Me?
Yeah, me and you. I can't believe you don't like this film.
A fuck of you. A fuck of you.
Yeah, you can fuck me. You can
Oh,
fuck me.
okay. I'm on my way, brother.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
pretty much,
come on, right, come on, let's go. Right. So next,
let's cut that off before it gets too personal here.
Yes,
Brian's pick?
It is Brian.
Oh yeah, it is my pick, and I have not. There's tons of different ways I could go here. I have this strange feeling, though. I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. I was gonna save it for down the road, but I'm gonna get it out of the way now because Quentin actually mentioned near the beginning of this
Count of
that
Monte
he
Cristo.
is going to watch it soon. So I'm just gonna put it in there to ease his pain, and because I know he's itching to watch it, so I'm just gonna throw it in there because I want to actually talk about it.
I want to watch this if you
on this podcast.
Young Henry Cavill.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, yes.
With Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce.
Oh,
I'm
my
a big
God,
Guy Pearce fan, by the
Guy
way.
Pearce
I
is
love Guy
fantastic.
Pearce. Henry Cavill he's like 15 in this. It's like his first movie, I think. It's there's also an appearance from the late great Richard Harris, who's a
Okay.
English legend. He really is. And a
Renowned.
gentleman. His son is actually a really good actor too, Jared Harris.
Who is it?
Chernobyl.
Oh,
Chernobyl.
yeah.
Chernobyl. He was the main guy in Chernobyl.
He wasn't even just like it wasn't just good. He was fucking amazing in
He was.
Chernobyl.
Also, Count of Monte Cristo is directed by Kevin Reynolds, who did Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
The Thieves.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's. I was actually surprised to find out that he directed Prince of Thieves because I was like, whoa, he Count of Monte Cristo, but then he did this movie. And
What's the director's name?
Kevin Reynolds. I think it's.
Yeah, so
Ryan-
I can't remember all the
you said
films he's
Ryan
done.
what?
Kevin Reynolds.
Kevin
Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds. Oh, sorry.
Fucking prick. But yeah, of all the movies he's done, like I think Count of Monte Cristo is the only one where I'm.
God,
like,
he did
it's one of my
Waterworld?
favorites. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Oh,
he did
fuck.
Waterworld after he did Robin Hood,
That's rough.
and it was like the biggest, most expensive film ever, and it lost all the fucking money. Like it genuinely lost all the money.
yeah.
But Count of Monte
His
Cristo,
movies have horrific
am-
reviews, all of them. Oh my
Dude,
god.
I am fucking so up for
Count of
this.
Monte Cristo is good though.
Yeah,
Fuck,
I'm
I am-
excited for that.
Brian as
It's Count of Monte Cristo is in my top
Everything.
10. It's almost in my top. It's almost in my top 5.
He has
That's
like
a-
one.
I am.
He has
so
one
up for
movie
this.
that's 50%.
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't say like the. Remember
No,
when
I
I
know.
said the only one that I really like is Count of Monte
100%.
Cristo?
Yes.
That's for a reason because it's
Yeah.
fucking. It's awesome.
I am so. Up
I'm
for
excited for. I mean, the cast alone is insane.
The cast on this is fucking
Oh,
incredible.
Michael Wincott makes an appearance in this as well.
I remember you mentioning that. I'm super excited about that.
Mate, Henry Cavill.
Oh,
anything with
Louis
Henry Cavill,
Guzman.
I am fucking down for. I am so down for that.
Alex Norton. I feel like I've seen him in a few things.
Yeah, but Henry Cavill is he's not like a major character in it. I mean, he's an important character, but it's not.
Even
It's
if
not
I
like-
get 10 minutes of young
He's-
Henry
he's-
Cavill,
he's
that'd
in
be
like
dope.
he's in like 3 scenes. Like
Yeah.
At the moment with Henry Cavill, the way he's being fucked over by Hollywood,
What do you
I
mean?
am
Oh,
so
yeah.
down for him.
He's picking his own roles. How is he
Yeah.
getting over in Hollywood? He's picking all of his own roles.
I am so down for Henry Cavill right now.
He's getting to
Anything
do
he
whatever
does,
he wants
fine.
to do.
yeah.
He got to do Superman. He got to do The Witcher, even though Witcher kind of did him dirty. He gets to
Witcher
do
did him
Warhammer.
well dirty.
He gets to do Warhammer that just got announced. His favorite fucking video game franchise ever. I mean, he's played
Hasn't
some
happened yet.
crazy roles. It's happening. It's in development, if I'm not
It's-
mistaken.
Until it happens.
And it's officially announced that he's on the series as the main character.
I hope so. Good. Get your fucking money, Henry.
He's a huge nerd.
Yeah, and I fucking love him for that. I love how much of a geek he is.
Yeah,
and
me
how
too.
much he fucking.
He's also like a nice
everyone
guy.
loves him.
There's a story.
he seems like a fucking real dude if he looked
Yeah.
if he looked like Hercules.
Literally. So
He
there's this.
does. Do you know what he does? He does. He fucking looks like Hercules.
He's like if Hercules walked down your street and he walked up to you and was like, "Hi, my name's Henry. How you doing? It's nice
Yeah.
to meet you."
Do you guys ever
I mean,
hear the
he's
story with
overall
Henry
nice.
Cavill and the guy who plays, oh my God, the Marvel, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings? Did you guys ever
Shang-Chi,
hear the story between the main actor of that and Henry Cavill? So Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, the main actor, Asian dude, super cool guy. He's eating dinner with a bunch of his buddies at this nice restaurant. He sees Henry Cavill sitting at a table like, far away, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's Henry Cavill," and he's spazzing out. He just got like his first big role, so he like goes over to introduce himself, and Henry Cavill's like, "Oh my God, yeah, of course I know who you are." He's like, so he goes over to Shang-Chi's table, and he's chatting with all of his buddies, saying hello, being the nicest guy ever, and after Henry Cavill leaves, Shang-Chi goes to go pay his check, and the guy is like, "Oh, Mr. Cavill took care of the entire table for you." Just such like a
Yeah.
cool move. Like he like went over. He
awesome.
wasn't like a dickhead at all. He was super awesome. Hung out with all the guys and was just shooting shit like a real human being.
I know what his name is. I can't think of it.
The Shang-Chi guy.
And then paid the tab and snuck out.
Yeah, like how dope is that?
It's awesome.
But just to do that sort of thing, to have that humanity.
He's like that. He's on that level of like niceness, like that Hugh Jackman, Keanu Reeves, and like he's on that level of like no one thinks that this guy's a dick, you know, unlike Kevin Costner.
Absolutely on the ball with that.
He's Yo, Quentin hates Kevin Costner. It's actually really
terrible. Funny. He's not a good actor. And he
actually, dude, if you give him the right role, he is. I'm telling you.
I think it's like how you guys feel about like Ryan Reynolds and Craig about Will Ferrell.
Ryan Reynolds doesn't have one performance where you're like, that was great, except maybe like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner's got a few. It's just if you can't make Kevin Costner to just a.
I hate his fucking face.
You can't do Kevin Costner as Robin Hood, this English dude. You can't do that. He's totally miscast in that. But if I fucking put on Dances with Wolves, or Bill Durham, or one of these fucking roles, or Yellowstone where he just kills it, you would think the complete opposite. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I mean, look, like he's done a fuck ton of. Actually, I can tell you a movie I liked him in. Man of Steel. I liked him as Clark, as Superman's dad. Not joking.
Okay.
That's it. It's a supporting role. That's all I cared.
The only good thing about that film was Henry Cavill and Amy Adams.
Amy Adams is awesome.
And Man of Steel was like it was one of those films. It was it was the noble attempt, but it didn't work.
Henry Cavill is all.
It didn't work. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But, it's kind of like how I feel about that Alexander movie with Colin Farrell. The attempt was noble as fuck, but it didn't work.
Yeah, was Troy any good with Brad Pitt?
Some people like it. I'm not a big fan of that one.
Was it like one of those movies that tried to be Gladiator? Not in the sense of the plot, but like did it come out?
But it's not that bad. You can watch that and actually enjoy it. Yeah, I will. I'll stand up for that.
What?
Nothing. I just remembered something that I'm gonna get in trouble. I just yelled.
We'll type it so we don't get in trouble.
I'm not in trouble. It's fine. I just remembered a movie that I've been wanting to review for so long.
Oh, okay. Dude, you like came in your pants. It must be a good one.
It is. It's a great one.
Dude, you went pretty freaking.
I thought something bad happened.
No, nothing bad happened.
Yeah. So yeah, if I showed you Dances with Wolves or Bull Durham, you'd be like, okay, I can. Kevin Costner did a good job. Or Yellowstone.
Fair.
Fucking Yellowstone is awesome.
Yellowstone, I tried.
That's a show, though.
Yeah, like you have to dedicate time to Yellowstone. You know what I mean?
That's the problem with shows. You got to dedicate so much fucking time to them.
Then again, there's some shows that I can kind of throw on in the background and just thoroughly enjoy. And like Scrubs, for instance, I could play that all day long and just listen and have the greatest time.
Yeah.
Dude, Scrubs.
Podcast, The Last Samurai.
Anyway, you guys, Last Samurai is great. You guys want to wrap this up?
That's the one. Yes.
Oh, that's it?
Oh, it's Last Samurai.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that movie.
I am down for that.
So
I am so fucking down.
And then we got to start picking bad movies again just to make it more fun.
I don't want to pick bad movies. I like good movies.
Well, Brian picked one a couple weeks back.
Well, which one was that?
Alex,
Along Came a Spider.
Yeah, that shit was fucking.
Dude, Quentin didn't like that one.
That's
although, like, for someone who didn't like it to throw a 4 at it, like I was like, all right. Because even though I liked the movie, I gave it a 6.
Keep this in. I would never watch it again.
It's Army of Darkness. Come on,
hell yeah!
No legs
Army of Darkness is lit.
Dude. That movie was just barely a notch above Mortal Kombat.
Dude.
Yeah,
I'll take that. I mean, as long as you get a good laugh out of Army of Darkness.
No, I had fun. Trust me, I had fun watching it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones for me where I was like, I'm having fun watching a shit movie.
Oh yeah.
But which is different. If I'm watching a movie and I think it's bad and I'm not having fun, like Ghostbusters. I did not like Ghostbusters at all.
Are you guys sure you don't want to do Snow White next week?
It's already out.
You know what? I am so
We let everybody else take care of that.
Christina started dying.
Dude, that woman is never going to get a job ever again.
Fucking universe in this multiverse.
Weird.
Are you gonna go see
Snow White? Fuck you. Did you enjoy this?
Is anyone gonna go see Revenge of the Sith with me in theaters for its 25th anniversary?
I can't, but he can.
You could be. I'll FaceTime you, Craig. I don't know. I'm gonna look at showtimes for it.
Okay. Well, you guys want to wrap this up and get out of here?
Let's wrap it up.
Well,
that is our review for Goldeneye, 1995, and it was a good one. One of my favorite movies.
A fucking brilliant movie.
It was good.
And Brian, you are next.
Monte Cristo.
Count of Monte Cristo.
We're doing Monte Cristo?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So next time we will be back with the Count of Monte Cristo from 2002. So until that time, we are out of here. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again soon.
Wait, gang signs.
Have a great time. And throw up the Vulcans. There
the Vulcans.
The Vulcans.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Later, guys.